What's up, guys? Welcome back. All right, so we are getting straight into our Inkosi Super Cup, but of course, the summer edition. And well, it is going to be super, super hot. The whole place, of course, heating up, seeing that it is summer already. Yeah, really feeling the heat. Pretty tough so far. But I mean, I'm hoping that we see the same kind of heat, of course, coming through in the gameplay with the teams here. And well, so far, it's looking to be quite the interesting one. We actually have a huge number of teams registering for this first week of the Inkosi Super Cup. We've got 97 teams registering, so that's really something amazing, and it's great to see that we've got so many teams stepping up, and we're going at it to try and get themselves into that Umzansi League. So pretty great registration so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking super, super spicy. Of course, bringing out that heat for the summer that we like, or maybe not so much. I'd like to jump into a pool at some point. But yeah, with that said and done, I mean, definitely want to start getting into this season and really start it off with a bang. That's exactly what we're waiting for. And of course, we do have some things waiting at the end of the tunnel. I mean, we all know what the Inkosi Super Cup is about. Of course, at the end of the day, it's the teams wanting to get on up into the finals to get into that Umzansi. Of course, you can see here on your schedule for the day, we've got the group match coming on first, followed by the 3 final maps. And of course, the group match being the decider who goes into the finals for today. That happening all across the board. So we'll be waiting for that. Group match will be decided, and then we'll head into those 3 finals. Which I presume is going to be even more of a banger than the group match, because of course those will be the top performing teams of the day. But yeah, I must say there's a lot of new teams that we're going to be seeing coming into the Inkosi Super Cup. As you mentioned, we've got so many teams coming in. A lot of those teams are going to be new. And the thing about it is, if you were following the season 1, you'll know that the top teams from the Inkosi Super Cup last season have already moved up into Umzansi. That means that there's new spots available for these Inkosi teams up for grabs. And the other thing, which is of course up for grabs, are these prizes that you can see on your screen here for the prize pool for this Inkosi Super Cup. So it's not just the promotions up to Umzansi for the top teams that is up for grabs as well. It is these wonderful, wonderful prizes.
Yeah, no, and it's looking pretty good there. As you can see, the total weekly price there being 1,750 Rand. That, of course, is the Rand value. We shall update it momentarily, I think, in the next broadcast to, we'll put the equivalent in, what it should be in dollars and all that. But, of course, you can see first place team getting themselves a very nice 750 Rand. Second place, 500. Third place, 250, as well as for the team in fourth place. So that, of course, all accumulates up to 14,000 Rand in grand total. So a pretty nice reward there for participating and, proving yourself in the games for the day. So, yeah, I'm quite keen to see what's going to be happening. Just looking back at season 1, we've seen some amazing plays there. And, of course, the teams that have made it up in towards that Umzansi, they brought that fire with them that we saw, near the end of the Inkosi season. Things really heated up in those finals, and well, those teams surely carried that through into the Umzansi side, making it super competitive already from that first weekend, which we had just this weekend. And I mean, if that was anything to go by, I'm hoping that we see the same coming in from this season of the Inkosi Super Cup as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be very interesting. And of course, this season of Inkosi is going to be quite the change up, I think, because what we're really waiting for is to see who steps up over the course of the season. Who's going to be the new challengers to try and work on and get themselves in towards Umzansi. That's going to be very interesting because, of course, going into season 1, we started to get a feel for who are the teams that were going to be the big ones to watch, who were going to be the teams that might just make it up to the top. And we actually followed that journey from start to finish. And now those teams, of course, are in Umzansi. Now we've got a whole new batch of teams ready to show us what they've got, ready to step it up. And, we've got a whole season to see how they do. So right now, I'm heading into this one with a bit of an open mind. I'm not going to make any sort of predictions of this and that or the next thing. Obviously, half of the teams I don't even know. So it's going to be interesting to see, who performs. It's going to be really good because maybe I'm going to be pulling out some new favorites from this season and maybe some of the viewers will as well.
Yeah, no, 100% agree with you on that. And of course, being a new season, we've got a clean slate. The teams now, once again, have yet another opportunity to prove themselves on the playing field. So I'm quite keen to see, what's going to happen, which teams will be those ones to step up. And of course, I'm going to be keeping my eye on, whether or not we have one of those hunter teams. We've got 5 lobbies in today. And of course, it's going to be super tough for the teams to make it through in towards our best of three, the finals for today, because the top teams from all 5 lobbies will be chosen and put into that final lobby. So there is quite a bit to be fighting for. It's going to be I'm expecting it to be a little bit of a tough competition to get into that, and then of course super looking forward to what we'll be having in our finals. And man, yeah, I'm just hoping to see that hunter team. That is for me the thing that makes the match, is if we have a hunter team or possibly even hunter teams, stepping up to the plate, just bringing that gameplay, and well, maybe that is exactly what we'll get.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely one of those things that we like to keep an eye out for, because seeing a team being able to pull that off is definitely a really big indicator of how they can perform. Being able to pull off the so-called hunter strategy isn't actually as easy as it sounds. It's not just a case of being aggressive. It's not just we're just going to take fights wherever we find them. It's a case of you have to be able to know when to take those fights, because you have to choose your moment perfectly to make sure that you can chain together those kills and make sure you're consistently getting them. If it's just a burst of kills and then you die, it's not going to help you, because you need the kills and you need the placements. And a lot of the time, those hunter teams that we see, they come out early, they get some nice kills right in the beginning, they start moving it forward through the mid game, and then heading towards the end of the game, they start to slow it down just a little bit so that the positioning is right. They can get their rotations in and make sure that they are actually in the final zone, and then they can go all out again and try and win that out. And that really, really does bump up the numbers quite a bit for those teams. So I'm very interested, like you say, to see if we have any of those teams in the lobby. And I'm also curious to see how all of the teams will be performing as well going into this one. Like I said, bit of a clean slate, as you mentioned as well. It's pretty much anyone's game. Any teams could step up and show us what they've got. And I think the season's going to be quite interesting.
Yeah. And of course, the benefit of being called that hunter team, or behaving in such a way that we could identify you as the hunter team, is that with the teams that we saw moving into the Umzansi season 2, they were the teams that had quite a bit of that hunter mentality throughout the Inkosi season, and that of course now translates straight into that. And those teams, man. Yeah, they really, really brought it in. And man, so that's what I'm hoping to see here. And I know I've already said it, but I'm going to say it again. I want to see those hunter teams, and well, the players actually have quite a few weeks to try and kind of evolve their gameplay, try and improve it and get it up to that standard. So this of course being a fantastic breeding ground for improvements in between the teams, and of course creating better play styles. So let's see how it goes. The match should start momentarily. Then we can head on straight into our first Erangel match of the Inkosi Super Cup. So it's going to be super, super interesting to see what's going to happen in the world. So far that flight path is looking quite interesting. Just waiting to see now where the teams are going to drop, where the zone's going to take us, and of course then who's going to give us that the first bit of early game engagements, because that sometimes to a certain degree is a little bit of an indicator as to which teams we'll be seeing later on, in those final circles.
We'll have a look and see who gets off the bat with some strong showing from the get-go. But I mean, actually just going back to what you were mentioning, that's the nice thing about having this, season-long sort of game style when you go through the league like this. It's the fact that the teams do have the chance to actually improve their game. And we actually saw that in the previous season. We had a number of teams who were able to build on and improve their gameplay and make it up in towards Umzansi. We're talking about Exiles, we're talking about Angels, we're talking about so many of these teams that have actually made that run, made that trek from the beginning of the season. They're just building on that skill set to the point where they are really dominating the lobbies and really making things top notch, really, in terms of performance. And moving in, that's exactly what we're looking for to go in towards Umzansi. So we'll see if any of the teams can start to do that. We'll see exactly where they're going to be starting from, because of course here today is the beginning of the summer season, and we'll see how these teams spark things off. For the moment, of course, that flight path makes things relatively easy for the teams to jump into. Nothing crazy, but the zone heading down south a little bit, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, no, that's definitely going to be quite interesting, because we don't usually see a southern zone. But mind you, this is the second time that we've seen a southern zone. on the start of Umzansi, we had ourselves that lovely Southern Zone to kick everything off. And of course, now to kick off the Inkosi Super Cup, here we are, Southern Zone. So fantastic start to the whole start of this Inkosi. And well, we see quite a few teams actually dropping fairly close together. A nice grouping that we've got, on that western side as well as on the eastern side. Several teams very close together. And well, even up towards that northern side, towards School and Rozhok. Nice concentration of teams there. So we are kind of almost, I think it's kind of a standard to expect the action to happen quite early on in this game.
Yeah, watching to see how the game plays out in its stages, the early, the mid, the late game stages, watching how it plays out is a very good indicator of where the teams sit in terms of like their skill, like how do they handle the early game, how do they handle the mid game, how do they handle the late game, and we've seen how it happens in Umzansi, and I think that's a really good bar to actually measure up against a lot of things. Right now, you could see we've got some really good early aggression coming out there. Meatballs putting some good shots across it towards Crusher. Fouls off in the distance, not really able to support very much, so that should be a quick thirst coming out. You can see your boy Ted Bundy moving up with that shotty to crush Crusher, so that's the first one that looks like it'll be sent back to the lobby. So some nice early action coming through, but certainly nothing substantial just yet.
Yeah, the team here from Active Gaming really making a good, early game effort there. Popping off those hits, just putting them straight into the opponents. And of course, very close to Rozhok, just on that western side over in Watertown, we see the players there from Umzansi Esports, as well as the team from the SAR Anonymous. So they've all moved into that region there. And of course, on the screen at the moment, you can see the players here from YOLO Corp making their way around just south of Farm. So far, so good. They're in a pretty safe position. And, well, there's not a lot of teams in this area anymore. Most of the teams have started to rotate out into other areas. And we still see a nice concentration of teams sitting up in that northern side as well as over towards the west. In the west, of course, we got the team there from Skuku Thunders, and as well as the team from the Moss. No, sorry, that is Destiny. That's right, they were them. Got confused with the numbers. So, yeah, we'll definitely see some engagements happening between those players, and quite keen to see what's going to happen there.
Yeah, I'm just keeping my eye on the map to see where we might be seeing some of the aggression coming out. I can see up in Saverni, we've got Sabueli and, of course, Zany Aura sitting relatively close. And then around Rozhok, we've got a couple of teams concentrated in that general vicinity. So hopefully we'll see a couple of shots going back and forth. If not in, Rozhok, then at least in Saverni here between Zany Aura and Sabueli, because there's a very good chance right here for one of these two teams to get a leg up and get some early kills on the board. And of course, maybe potentially if they can get a wipe on one of the teams, then even knock themselves up a quick peg.
Yeah, these teams look quite close together, and of course, it's an interesting spread though. I mean, we've got Goku over here, and then two opposing players just over towards his northwestern side, and the rest of his squad has actually moved down towards the south. We can, where they've actually moved, and you see some of the shots going back and forth, and now we've got some action coming in from that far western side. The team from Known Gaming popping off a quick few hits. And there we go. SAR players also now right there on the screen coming in on the kill feed. So there's a lot of action now starting to take place on the map as the players are slowly but surely moving in. But of course, Big Smoke got so excited that he threw himself off of a height there. So, it's expected. It's understandable. The pressure's there. Might as well just poop and then, yeah,
absolutely. Just poop and there you got it. It's good to go. But on a different topic, really what I'm waiting for at the moment is to see how the teams decide to treat the zone, because obviously half of it's towards the island, half of it's up towards the mainland, and this is basically one of my favorite zone setups ever. If you were following season one or anything up to the finals of season one, you'll know that I really like the military island, and I think it's a really underrated drop spot, and I think it can be utilized a lot better than it has been in the past, or at least traditionally. And actually, as we moved forward in season one, we did see a lot of teams starting to utilize that position a whole lot more often. Not as much as I would have liked, but I mean, I'm also a bit of an underdog supporter, so I like a little bit of the more wacky unknown strats. But it's good to see that it started to see more and more use moving up and towards the end. But now, the other reason that I like it a whole lot is because it provides a challenge. because a lot of players, as I said, they don't go into that military island, which means they have to make a choice when the zone goes down in that direction. Do they commit to the island or do they stay on the mainland and then risk having to rotate over those bridges? And that's a big choice that I love to watch players make.
Yeah, and it's interesting when that happens because we've seen players, just throw themselves in the water and, it's... Oh, wait, the hits, though. There we go. There we go. All right, so that action already coming in. The team from Destiny taking a few hits in the process. And, of course, the players there from FXA Gangster Gang putting those hits straight into, well, 3 of the players. So that's a pretty tough start for the team from Destiny. Well, maybe that was their destiny, to get hit. And, yeah, so we'll see. But, getting back to that southern zone, it's quite interesting to see how the players, approach that, because as you mentioned, it's, they need to decide whether or not they're going to commit to either side of that zone, stay in the north, go in the south, whichever way around. And if the zone moves into the opposite direction, they then have to come up with a very, very creative way of how to get back into zone without putting themselves at too much risk.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of the time you'll see that when the players see this zone, a lot of them feel more comfortable staying on the mainland. And what that ends up doing is, if the majority of players stay on the mainland, then if that zone does end up shifting south, which it actually doesn't that much, but when it does, then it forces the teams to really start to have a grip of exactly how they want to rotate. Do they throw themselves into the water, which is, like you said, is something that happens often? Do they get to the boats? Do they try and find another way around? Because once that's happened, right, there is a guaranteed chance that some of your enemies know exactly where you are, or at least where you're going to be, because that's how rotations work. You have to come through from one side to the other. You have to get into that zone, otherwise you get taken out by the blue zone. So you have to get in. The easiest way to get across is the bridges, and 90% of the time those are already going to be bridge camped by at least 1 or 2 teams. Then if not the bridge, then you're going to be throwing yourself into the river between them, and you're just sitting ducks if somebody's watching that position. Or you could kind of play the big brain strat like BBC, and you actually go all the way to the one side and go around into the deep ocean and come back, which will, it'll elude the bullets. You won't be caught out, but it'll also take a while, and you might take a bit of blue zone damage, and then you'll come in from behind, which could potentially catch people, off guard. But that is a decision that you have to make, and it's just interesting to see how the teams make those decisions.
Yeah, and speaking about decisions, we see the team there, of course, from the Sabaweli Kittens, popping off a quick few hits in that kill feed, and several more hits continuing across the zones as the players now just start moving into position. We actually have the team from Sting Gaming right there, of course, with the opposing team, that being the players from the RC Elite Force. And of course, on the screen, we've got the players from Known Gaming making their way through the zone, just passing by the drop here, quickly swapping off to get a quick, nice little add-on or boost there of some level 3 gear. Now, well, we see a lot of movement actually coming in from the teams. As you can see also on the screen, the YOLO crew are slowly but surely moving in towards that same direction, closing in on that drop. And of course, just over towards that eastern side, we've got the players there from Active Gaming and Alex G holding up in Malta. So, yeah, a great potential for some engagements here. And the zone not shifting up too crazy. Yeah. It was actually very well positioned when it moved in the previous zone. As you can see now, of course, the teams that are still on that Sosnovka military island, they are still able to be there. They are not forced to rotate up yet, and that zone might still even possibly rotate down. But now we've got a few shots coming in on that western bridge. The players there from Not Gaming now just putting the heads in straight towards the African Renegades, making it super, super challenging for them and already sending them off into the lobby. So now we have 18 teams and 62 players remaining. African Renegades, of course, being the first one to get sent off into the lobby. And man, I almost thought they were busy trying to change the tire there or something.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, maybe they're just trying to fix some punctures in there and can get themselves across. But yeah, I mean, we're actually seeing a couple of, we saw Ice getting squished there in the kill feed, and now you could see there Zeus also going to be taken out by the front end of a car, which is not the greatest way to go out, but it is one of them. So that's going to be slightly unfortunate. But this zone looking really nice because it still goes half and half towards the island and, of course, the mainland. But it could still go either way, and the fights are happening because all of these teams, 60 players trying to squeeze themselves inside here. This zone's going to get a whole lot smaller, make these fights start to happen real quick.
Yeah, and we see the players there from Mars Tactical, of course, now, you know, taking a few hits from the team. That, of course, being the players from Incense that's moving up right behind them on the screen. At the moment, we've got the team here from Active Gaming making their way around slowly but surely. And just off in the distance, as I mentioned, we've got the players there from Alex G and Known Gaming. So, yeah, yet again, some great potential for shots to be flying all over the place. And we see a few more hits actually now coming in that kill feed. The players there... I'm not too sure which, I missed the name of the team, but their heads are still going off. Wow, they are not stopping. That's Elite. Yeah, it's the Elites.
Yeah.
They're just popping off those heads.
Yeah, the shots absolutely flying at the moment, which is exactly what we like to see. And the other thing that we absolutely, or at least I absolutely love to see, is the fact that that zone has shifted up and it's gone all the way over the eastern bridge. So it is just slap bang on that eastern bridge, which means that we are guaranteed, at least no matter where this zone goes from here on out, it is going to be absolutely interesting. We're going to see some very, very interesting shifts, and it promises a very interesting final zone as well, which is absolutely amazing. I'm super keen to see how this plays out, because at the moment we only have 2 teams down south on that island. The rest of them are up north on the mainland, which means that once those teams start to pack on in, it's going to get super, super crowded up there, which means tons and tons of fighting, which is going to be super cool. Now, we already have 3 teams sitting at the top of that bridge already. They're going to be sitting quite comfortably. You can see one of them being the Active Gamers here, sitting off to the side trying to get a couple of hits in. But there are 5, 6, 7 teams that still need to make their way on down in, that need to squish themselves into the top, not just the top of the zone, but the top of this bridge, because there's not much land left. And once the zone shifts again, it's going to get even smaller. So this is going to be super interesting.
But one thing that's interesting, though, is that we've got the Sabaweli Kittens all the way on that southern side. So that's a pretty good rotation by them, you know, taking that passive approach. We've got all the teams sitting on the northern side, and they can just very comfortably just chill there. We've got the team from Not Gaming slowly on the approach from that western edge. I mean, we're seeing a lot of action taking place in that northern side. Several teams just battling it out for control. Meanwhile, we've got the Kittens, you know, they just chilling. No urgency to rotate into any directions. And of course, LXG being one of the teams caught in the oven here. Shots now about to start flying, as you can see the players from Tactic, or from Elite rather, just moving in. And well, yeah, it's going to be quite challenging. I'm quite keen to see what's going to happen. Getting super excited. The teams are getting so close. And of course, they are battling on quite a little bit of a limited real estate. So yeah, nice little surprise coming in there from PUBG.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice little surprise indeed. And right now, you can see on your map there, we've got some nice concentrations of Team Jinx up in the fray, putting some hits across. You can see off in the west, off in the east, towards the top of the bridge. We've got tons of clusters of teams moving in, trying to get some hits across. And this is just really, really good, because that means we're going to have decisive fights. And Jinx putting those decisive shots over in towards the team there from Zany Aura. So they're getting hit pretty hard and not feeling too good about that, Jinx. Actually, one of the teams that I believe we've seen before, and they did a pretty decent job in the previous season. So it's nice to see them coming back into the season and putting those hits in.
Yeah, and I mean, the zone shift now coming in and moving over towards the bridge. I mean, this has never, ever resulted in a pleasant finish for any of the teams. It is such a cruel move coming in here from PUBG, just throwing it in. And of course, now we have the players from Jinx Gaming sitting on the side. We've got Zany Aura, moving in, popping the head straight into the players there from RC Elite Force. Well, taking quite a bit of, sending off for quite a bit of damage. And, well, it's quite interesting to see so many teams right here so close together. Got a few nades now coming in. Tipsy Queen getting hit in the process. I mean, and this rotation is going to be super tough. There's so many players just up ahead, and a lot of them are converging on this northern side of the bridge. So, yeah, I mean, real estate is not really something they've got a lot of in this next zone. Yeah, this is going to be so exciting to see what these teams are going to be able to do with that, and which team, of course, will get that chicken, because at this moment in time, I have absolutely no idea of guesstimating which team could win. Could be any one of the 16 teams still alive.
Yeah, it absolutely could. There is just no way to tell right now. And it is a cruel zone for the teams, but it's a brilliant one for us to have a look and see how they respond to this. What a challenge to open things up with in Season 2 of the summer season, man. It's just, well, Season 2, it is the summer season. That is Season 2, but it's just such a great way to open things up. The zone looking so good. I've been waiting for the zone for so long. I've been waiting to see it come, and finally it shows its face. Finally it presents itself. Like you said, that real estate is totally diminished. It's just most of it is water, so these teams have so little land to play on. You can see those shots absolutely flying across the field, everyone trying to put them in. It's just chaos in the ranks at the moment as these teams scramble to try and find their way up and just keep themselves alive for as long as possible. And we even have teams that are swimming through the water to try and get any advantage they can to try and stay alive.
Yeah, and it's quite funny just looking at the players here from Sabaweli. You know, they are spread like butter all along the edges of that little compound, just trying to stay out of sight for as long as they possibly can. You know, so already off the bat, that is a pretty tough spot to be in. You can see the players here from Incense, of course, just making their way around, keeping a watchful eye on that water's edge. And just to the north of them, we've got one of the players there from the Super team. And of course, well, we got the FXA Gangster Gang right there with them. The hits still flying from Incense all over the place. You can see the kittens now making their way across that bridge, you know, coming up towards the northern side. But the zone hasn't yet moved in to the northern side. Definitive. You know, there's still a little bit of that southern section that the zone could shift to. I mean, if the zone moves to that side, it is going to be absolute mayhem. We've got so many players. Just look at that mini-map. There's so many of them just scattered around in that northern section. And it's already challenging enough to be here, but now the zone is so, well, call it demented into a certain degree. As they can't do much with this. All they got to do is just trying to hope that the next zone is a little bit more. No, never mind. You're gonna see. Oh man!
At least they have land
for the teams.
At least they've got something to stand on. Like, they could have gone south and there would have been nothing to stand on. At least it's gone slightly towards the north and there's something to stand on. But man, oh man, this is going to be tough. We already have the majority of the zone already full of teams. These teams up in the north, they have such a difficult task ahead of them. Not only do they have to win the battles where they're standing, but they're going to have to fight into the zone as well. Man, this is just good. We're going to see so many teams just heading on back into that lobby right now.
I mean, there's 39 players, and you can see those hits just starting to fly off in all directions. The players there from Moss Tactical now getting hit in the process. Ooh, we got some nades coming in as well. There we go. So the elite team now just stepping up, delivering on that grenade front. The active gamers also now stepping in, and we got the shots starting to fly all over the place. We've dropped by 2 players. Several others got knocked in the process. Still 14 teams left. And man, it is gonna heat up like it's an oven out in the sun. You can just see those shots going. That's really weird. I don't know where I came up with that one, but whatever. Here we go. Yeah, dude, this is gonna lit up. Oh, those hits are now coming in from Miss Meow Meow over here. I mean, one Meow with another Meow Meow. Ooh, yep, there we go. Look at the hits. Meow Meow just blowing up the vehicles there. Absolutely fantastic. I would have loved to see a kitty pan as well. The bag already does it. Well done. Just completing the whole look there.
Yeah, DK is feeling pretty happy about that one.
Oh, what?
And there's another one as well. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be ecstatic. You get 2 Meow Meows and 2 car explosions, DK. What more could you ask for?
I mean, happy day, happy day, happy day. And well, the teams are still making their way in that blue zone, of course, now just forcing them forward. You got some mollies flying in as well. And I'm just waiting to see how this is going to wrap up. I mean, yeah, so far it is pretty damn near impossible to say which team is going to get that chicken because it can swing any which way. Yeah, well, at least we got some good action. That is what we're here for, you know. Waiting for that action, and what a fantastic way to start off the first match for week 1. Yeah, great stuff. Oh, kitty, go down.
Damn, Yeah, well, things have just heated up really, and I mean it's absolutely in character here. Summer season heating things up outside, while everyone in this game heating things up from the inside, just coming to meet. And now that blue zone moving in once again, the teams have solidified themselves inside the zone for the moment. But of course, that zone shift, as we've seen, it's just been absolutely devastating. And well, it is going to continue to do so. As you see, it shifts up once more, gets a whole lot smaller, and forces these teams to fight once again. The Not Gaming squad in a pretty good position here on the bridge, could actually hold out for some time and maybe do some serious damage. You can see Subway Kittens taking quite a bit of damage from Extra Heroes putting the shots across. Luckily, none of them have gone down, but it is only a matter of time before somebody goes down and out, because of course they will be having to fight for that absolutely minuscule real estate right now. And here come the shots. As you could see, it is just going to go from 0 to 100 to find out who of these 11 remaining teams are going to be able to get into this final zone and fight for that chicken.
Yeah, so we were talking about that, about the Hunter team stepping it up. I am 100% convinced that the blue zone or the zones, the zone shifts, that is the Hunter team for this for this first match. Because I mean, dude, that's just absolutely brutal. You know, it's not making life any easier for the teams, and it's yeah, it's a tough way to start it off, but it definitely brings the action and really challenges the players right out of the gate. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better start to season. The players could have probably asked for a better start, but I mean, from where we're sitting, this is just absolutely fantastic. The zone being absolutely brutal, you know, brutal AF, and yeah, lovely action all over the place. I mean, the meows, you know, the kittens there, just continuing on with their heads popping them off in all directions. Already 7 kills to their name, and actually it's fantastic to see that there's already so much action. You know, we are 23 minutes in, but we've seen action for quite a big part of this match, and you know,
yeah.
Well, I wasn't expecting anything less at this point in the game, but it's great to see that it's actually come, you know, quite some time throughout this match.
Yeah, it's nice to see the consistent aggression coming in, you know, the consistent fighting. It's always good. You know, there's a lot to be said about it, but I don't think we really have to overanalyze the situation here. You know, it is what it is. The start of the season, teams getting into their own, and of course they have been thrown quite the curveball in terms of zones this game, and it really has thrown them to the test right in the frying pan straight off the bat. And it's been really good to see. You know, it's been really testing the not just the skill of the teams, but really their tenacity at this point. And well, right now, 8 teams remaining, 15 players left alive. The Not Gaming squad have some control over this bridge here. They've got a nice little ring of cars that they are using for cover, and the rest of the team's trying to push on up. So Whaley up in here. Everyone trying to move on in, and the zone shifting once again. And this is actually in the Not Gaming squad's favor. So this is going to be quite interesting to see.
Wow, I mean, these hits just coming in. I mean, I'm quite surprised by the play that we're seeing coming in from, you know, the kittens here. So pretty good gameplay so far, and I'm quite keen to see what's going to happen in the remaining 3 matches. You can see them, of course, now pretty well spread out in the zone. Several players just down below at that water's edge. They're going to have quite a bit of a hard time trying to rotate back up to the top side, of course, depending on where this next one's going to go. But as you can see, we've got a few players just stuck up in that northern side. Wow, the kittens just capitalizing on this position like it's no one's business. Well, of course, taking a few hits in the process, as one would expect. There we go. Whiskers getting hit. Should have. I was a little surprised that he, you know, didn't sense that coming in. You know, with the third or fourth or fifth sense, or whichever extra one you want to add in there. Just add your 7th, 8th. You know, just keep going. And of course, this blue zone, up it comes, just hunting these players down. We've got the SAR anonymous players in the water. At least we can see the names, so you know it's not completely anonymous. But yeah, the active gamers now making their way in as well on the approach, trying to outswim the blue zone. The hits still happening on the top side. You can see Not Gaming still putting a quick few hits now up on the top. Ooh, Zeus just comes thundering down that little cliffside face thing there, whatever, puts their hits in and sends them swimming with the fishes. Well done, well played. 7 teams remaining, 10 players alive. And of course, the blue zone, quite hungry for players.
Oh yeah, it always is. And of course, as you could see here, it is not kind to anyone. And Well, there goes the Kitten and Whiskers taken straight on out there. Unfortunately, they weren't able to crawl far enough up before they popped their painkillers, so that's a bit of a rip in piece. And now we've got our 5 remaining teams, the top 5 teams. And, well, that is not going to be very long lasted because we've already got 1 knocked out, and there's a whole lot of stragglers. We've got 3 Lone Wolves, and then the Not Gaming squad, who has 3 players remaining. So they are in pretty much the best possible position right now.
Yeah, well, let's see if they can capitalize on that position. You know, in a sense, it comes down to whether or not the zone is shifting up in your favor, and Not Gaming moving into the zone with pretty good numbers. They're going up against 2 players, so it could be a fairly easy win for them. But of course, you can see, you know, the 2 remaining players are trying their utmost best to remain in the water as long as they possibly can. I think they might have actually, you know, brought their scuba tanks with them. But Inferno now stepping up, whopping those heads straight in towards Zeus. 1 player remaining. Now let's see, are they going to stay in the drink, or are they going to try and come onto the land and try and just battle it out? It's going to be quite the tough one.
Yeah, it certainly is. And Inferno has done such a good job of sticking in this one. 1v2 at the moment is exactly what he's facing. Unfortunately, they are already well aware of his position, and that is, of course, going to be the end for him. But man, what a crazy game.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane, and well done to Not Gaming for coming in with a beautiful kill count right there on the end. 12 kills to the name, as well as that chicken. And of course, we got the players here from... Man, I almost said something completely inappropriate there, so I'm glad I just kept quiet for a quick brief moment. That, of course, being the players from Sting Gaming finishing in 2nd place. We got FXA finishing in 3rd. We got SAR Anonymous in 4th place. We got the players from YOLO Corp in 5th place. We got the Kittens in 6th place. We, of course, got Sabaweli Clan finishing off in 7th place. We got Active Gaming in 8th. We got the players there from... Shuku, I guess, whatever, that one, in 9th place. Sorry if I mess up the names. If not, I'll just give you a new one. Don't worry. Incense finishing in 10th place. We got Elites finishing in 11th. Jinx in 12th place. We got the Moz Elite finishing in 13th. Destiny in 14th place. Known Gaming in 15th place. In 16th, we got Alex G. In 17th place, we got the players there from the RC Elite Force. In 18th, we've got the team from Zany Aura. And then, of course, over in 19th place, the first team into the lobby being the players there from the African Renegades. So well done, well played to all the teams, putting up a fantastic show, really delivering on the action. I mean, fantastic start to the whole Inkosi Super Cup season. And yeah, I'm quite excited to see what's going to be happening in our 3 matches that are still yet to come for the evening.
Yeah. Absolutely. And of course, you know, as you mentioned, we've got our 3 matches still coming up. Of course, all the lobbies now have completed their groups match, which is going to give us the best performing teams for the day up in towards our best of 3, which is going to be quite spicy. Of course, all of those being a wrangle as per usual. We're going to see who comes out on top of that one, who's going to be starting the season off with some really good points. And yeah, it's definitely going to be a spicy one, I should say. If that match is anything to go by, and if the game keeps giving us interesting zones like that, which obviously isn't going to happen all the time, but if we get a couple more of those, it's definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah. The award there for, you know, the most hunter-esque, you know, entity involved in that match definitely goes to the blue zone. Well done, well played. I mean, that was just absolutely brutal zone shifts and making it so difficult for the teams, moving up into almost impossible locations. But of course, at the end of the day, you know, the teams were able to keep up with that, keep on fighting, you know, and they just kept on putting their heads in, putting those shots in and performing all the way through. So yeah, I'm quite excited to see how, you know, the rest of the evening is going to go.
Yeah. Well, with that said and done, I believe we are going to be heading into a quick break as we get ready for that best of 3. So do not go anywhere. We still have 3 matches here left today for the start of this Inkosi season.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. Right, so we're getting ready to get into our finals here for today. So it is going to be super, super interesting seeing what these players are going to be doing, how they're going to be approaching this next one. And of course, it's going to be pretty spicy. So many teams all over the place. And well, yeah, dude, I'm quite keen to see how they're going to play this one.
Yeah, I mean, we had a really crazy start to pretty much everything. I don't know how the rest of the lobbies went, but the one that we were watching definitely quite crazy. It tested some of the teams to some very interesting limits, and I'm hoping that's given them a pretty good warm up going into this one. Of course, the top teams from every lobby moving forward now into these best of 3 finals here for today. Which is, of course, going to get them those points. So I'm very interested to see, hopefully they're jacked up, hopefully they're warmed up, ready to go. And, of course, yeah, as you can see right on your screen there, 3 Erangel matches awaiting us. Of course, we're heading into the first one momentarily. But, yeah, I mean, it's a really encouraging start, I have to say. We've seen some really good indications of some of these teams' abilities and performances, because we've seen action right off the bat. We've seen the teams making sure that they're active, that they're getting things done. And despite the fact that, it's not at the standard that we would expect on, for instance, Umzansi just yet, this is the beginning of the season. And if this is the way we're going to start the season off, then that's really, really encouraging for how the rest of the season is going to be building up, because these teams, I think they have some really, really big potential.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a pretty amazing play coming from the teams right off the bat. So, I mean, yes, as you said, if this is anything to go on, it's going to be quite interesting to see which teams will be the ones, claiming that prize pool, because, I mean, that's a pretty good prize pool right there. Prize pool. Yes. There we go. So prize pool, pretty good one there for the teams. And I'm quite curious to see, how this will go. And of course, how it's going to end, which teams will be the ones to get that. Because today, so far, it's actually been quite challenging. The teams really stepping up to the plate and really just giving us as much as they can there. So yeah, beautiful performance so far. And I'm hoping to see more of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I'm also waiting to see who are the teams that are going to be stepping it up over this best of 3, because, it's not easy to see who are going to potentially be the biggest performers going through the season just off of the group stages alone, which is why I'm interested to see who's going to be maybe top 3, top 5 going in to this best of 3. If we see some consistent performers, if we see 1 or 2 teams that consistently make it in to the top 3 or the top 5, I think those will be some teams to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah, because definitely once we get the those teams that go into that let's call it again that hunter team that we've been looking for, like we had the zone in the previous round, being absolutely relentless and just pushing it so hard on these players. I'm still waiting to see who is going to be the hunter team, and maybe we will see some of the teams stepping up to that plate and actually starting to deliver on that front, because on our particular lobby that we were watching, it was pretty difficult to call out a specific team and say, all right, that team was the hunter team, seeing that the zone was so pretty brutal with them right there. But yeah, who knows, we might see it in our remaining 3 matches of the night.
Yeah, I certainly hope we do, because that's going to be quite exciting if we see some teams arising like that. I'm definitely going to be quite excited, because already we've had such a good start to the season. And I mean, we've got so many teams that are participating in the Inkosi Super Cup this season that I really have high hopes for what these players and teams can do, because there's some big shoes to fill. But I feel like these teams have already shown us that there's a potential that they could be filling those shoes and maybe really stepping it up and moving in towards the Umzansi at the end of the season. That will be really, really good to see. Keep things nice and fresh, nice and on their toes all across the board. And I mean, it's just going to be overall exciting. What I'm really waiting to sort of get a feel for is where the teams are sitting in terms of their consistency, because we talk a lot about the balance in this game and what you need to achieve the sort of top ranks, and a lot of that comes down to the consistency, the placements, the kills, all that fun stuff. But when it comes to that, we see that the top performing teams are always the ones who have something in response to the situation. And this season is going to give us a really good feel for how these teams can do that. But this here, these best of threes in the beginning of the season will give us a good inclination to where the teams stand right now. And that's going to give us, a pretty decent idea of what we can start to expect coming out from these teams.
Yeah, and of course we also have that that master leaderboard that's running. So yet again, that's where the consistency ties into it. The teams finishing off at the end of the season, on the top of that master leaderboard, those of course will be the teams that would be presented with the opportunity to battle it out against the Umzansi teams once again, and make their way on in towards that next zone. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it's going to unfold, how it's going to come to an end. Sorry, I got lost in my own words there for a quick brief second. And yeah, I mean, again, as we've said several times, if the first match already was something to go on, we are in for quite a bit of a ride throughout the season. There are several weeks of this, of course. So, lots of opportunities for teams to establish, their dominance and that lead on that overall, global leaderboard that we've got running. So I'm looking forward to seeing, how that's going to happen. And of course, moving into this next lobby, we actually have an interesting mix of teams coming in. Just having a quick look at it here, and we've got the players from G69, I guess it is. Then, of course, we've got Alpha Pack, we've got AAA, we've got Force 4, we've got Not Gaming coming in, Sting Gaming, FXA, Gangster Gang, the SAR Anonymous players. We've got Ultra 6, we've got the Martians, Antibiotics, there we go. And, of course, Your Killer Is. Now, we've seen Your Killer Is as well before, so it's going to be interesting to see, how these teams are going to go at it. And so far, it seems like there's 12 teams that have made it through into this match. Well, we'll see, of course, when we get into the match itself, what the situation is there and how it's going to go. But yeah, so far it's looking quite interesting, and yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see what these players are going to be able to do with what the game presents them.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully we'll just wait for those teams to get up into the lobby, and we could start soon. Hopefully, as not many more things could go wrong, just keep your fingers crossed for that. But yeah, it's definitely an exciting prospect. I'm waiting to see if we'll see maybe some of the older players from Inkosi, such as Your Killer Is, potentially stepping it up, maybe leading the pack in terms of just experience and whatnot. Maybe we'll see that happen, or maybe we'll see some of the new teams step it up. Maybe we'll see them take the lead. Like I said, I'm really keeping my eye out for what happens, because really the season does feel like a bit of a blank slate, because sure, we still have a lot of the old teams from the previous season, but we've got so many new teams. I think in total is like 97 teams. That is so many teams that there is just potential for absolutely anything to happen at this point. And I mean, it's insane. It's exciting.
Yeah, so one thing that I'm also hoping for is that we see a continuous attendance, we had 97 teams registering for today's matches, and I'd love to see the same number of registrations come in as we continue through the season, because if we have a big number of teams registering in the beginning, we've got a few teams playing, it's not as much of a battle for the teams then to make it on to the next stage, which would then hopefully be the Umzansi side. So I'd really love to see those numbers remain the same and the teams still registering, still entering week after week, because at the end of the day, there's still also a cash prize reward at the end of the day. For the teams who place in the top 4, they're going to get some winnings. So if anything, you're fighting for free money. So, I mean, if not, why not?
It does kind of feel that way. It's a double incentive. We've got this Inkosi League where you can, of course, sign up, and that's something that you can keep in mind as well. You can see right on your screen here the prizes, but you sign up for the Inkosi Super Cup, and you can get your team in here. And not only are there some amazing cash prizes like you can see on your screen here, but at the end of the day, if you make it into the top, you can also upgrade yourself up into the, you can promote into the Umzansi League if you manage to get that done. And, that's an even bigger set of prizes, and, and a huge stage, it's really, really big. So this is not just, these cash prizes that you're fighting for. It's it's so much more. And then that really, hopefully that incentive keeps the teams signing up, keeps those numbers high, makes sure that the teams know that there is something waiting for them at the end of that tunnel. If they put the work in, I mean, you could even, I think the teams from the previous season can attest to that. So it's that is definitely a nice big goal for them at the end now. I am receiving some quick word that we will be heading into a 5-minute break, if I'm not mistaken, just to make sure everything is good and working. So once that's up and done, we should be able to get on into it.
And we are back. All right. So we are getting ready for this match to get underway. So yeah, the best of 3, of course, for the finals coming up for this one. So 3 rounds of Erangel is, well, all in the lineup as you saw on the schedule not too long ago. So yeah, waiting on that action. And well, Bachi, I'm really hoping that, the players are going to give us as much action as we had in the previous round, of course, in, these coming 3 rounds. So yeah, just a few more moments to go, then we can jump straight into that, get the action going. And well, I'm curious to see where this flight path is going to take us, and of course, whether or not we're going to get one of those southern zones once again. You never know.
Yeah, it could certainly happen. Nothing's out of the cards at this stage. We've seen pretty much everything, all the zones, everything crazy and not so crazy. Luckily, it started off pretty crazy, and that was a good test of strength, I guess you could say, putting the pressure on the teams to move in towards this best of 3. And now heading into it, of course, we're just waiting for those players to hop on in, get ready, and we can get into this match and start this best of 3 off. Hopefully, it starts off with a bang, but yeah, I guess the question is, do you want to see that pressurization coming out from the zone once again, or do you want to see a little bit more of a calm zone? My side, I want to see a crazy zone come out again. I think that if we start things off hectically for these teams, if we start things off big, at least we're going to really start to put the pressure on and see how the teams perform. Because like I was saying earlier, I really want to see where these teams are sort of sitting so that we can see what to expect from them. Because once we know what we can expect from the teams, it's a little bit easier to see them grow. And, we can talk about that. And it's very enjoyable to sort of follow that adventure from the start of the season to the end. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, speaking about the teams, I'm just going to run through them once again so that we know who we have in our lineup here. So, of course, we've got the players there from the G69 gaming team. We've got Alpha Pack, we've got AAA, we've got Force 4, we've got Not Gaming, Sting Gaming, we've got FXA Gangster Gang, we've got the SAR Anonymous team, we've got Ultra 6, the Martians, we got Antibiotics, we got Your Killer Is, we got Phoenix Uprising, and Dream Team Alpha, we got Fear, Team Rage. We also have Akatsuki. Hey, I've got that name nailed now. Then, of course, Godzilla Esports and Black Clover. So those are the teams that we'll be having in this lobby. So a pretty interesting lineup, teams that we've seen play before. And, of course, teams that we've not really seen much of just yet. But, of course, fresh season, clean slate. And, well, looking forward to seeing performances from all these teams and, how they carry themselves throughout these matches. And, yeah, once again, I'm going to say, really looking forward to seeing these teams in the coming weeks, all of them participating and having, a greater mix-up of teams, of course, coming into our finals of the days.
Yeah, absolutely. And this beginning of the season and, well, the rest of the season itself is actually a really good sort of ground because there's a twofold sort of scenario going on here. The teams from Inkosi in the previous season that didn't get where they wanted to be now have a chance to really work on themselves, step it up a little bit, build themselves up, make sure they're brushing up on their skills and all that good stuff, and really making it to where they need to be. And sort of get to the end of the season in a spot where they're happy. And on the other side, we've got a whole array of new teams who have this new empty stage for themselves to maybe just, get a bit of a spotlight, prove themselves, and really get themselves out there. That's the whole thing. If you can put up a good performance here, you're going to get noticed one way or the other. And even if you don't, which you will, but even if you didn't, you'd still be making it up to a point where you can be quite happy with your performance. This is the stage to do it on. If you want to make yourself known, this is where you can make it happen. And that creates a really interesting dynamic. You've got teams fighting to try and correct some of the mistakes that they saw in themselves previously, and then you've also got all these teams who are looking to prove themselves, and that's going to make for some interesting gameplay. And you could see it right off the bat in that open game right there that we started with just now. The teams they had no problem in going in for the fights. They had no problem just going for it, getting things done. That's what I like to see. A lot of the time in the previous season, we were talking about some of the things that we were concerned about a little bit. And a lot of those things that we were talking about had to do with, the slower pacing. And while slower pacing isn't necessarily a bad thing, if you're seeing slower pacing from beginning to end of a match, like there's a big problem because you're not going to be able to build up your skills at all. You're not getting any of the experience. You may as well not have even played the match, except for maybe a couple of key elements there, in my opinion, at least. So definitely it's good seeing that we have this bit of a switch up where the teams are not afraid to take the fights. Now, sure, it was a crazy zone and it did force a lot of those things to happen. But I'm really, really hoping that in this best of 3, we will see these teams continue that forward. I don't want to see them just throwing themselves, yes, but also I don't want to see them just camping inside a building for 20 minutes, right? I want to see them making sure that they've got keen awareness of their surroundings. If someone's coming past, try and take the fight with them, knock them out. If you're seeing a team where they're in a good position, you want to be there, set up the push, go and try and take them out, get them out of the building, take it for yourself, get those kills, knock the teams out, because that's how you're going to improve. And, even if you die, even if you get sent back to the lobby in a bad spot, it's the beginning of the season. You need to make it happen because you need that experience. You learn from your mistakes, you learn from your losses. And if you're going to make mistakes, if you're going to lose, now is the time to make that happen, because you don't want to be making mistakes or losing at the end of the season, because that's where it's starting to count more and more and more as we head up to that. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for going into this best of 3 here.
Yeah. Well, we actually had quite a bit of that in our previous match, the lobby that we were spectating. We didn't necessarily see the players play a overly strategic game. Well, also taking into consideration the zone was, in demon mode, which is which is good for us, not so ideal for the teams. But one thing that I really want to commend the teams on, though, in the lobby that we were watching is, they took engagements. It wasn't a passive lobby, even though they couldn't necessarily rotate into the positions where they'd like to be going. They definitely, we saw them taking engagements at every single opportunity that they got. We didn't see teams really playing too passively, or camping it out. We saw those shots flying continuously. And that is, to me, is a pretty good start, and of course the teams can build on that and work in the strats should they get a zone like we had in the previous match. But of course, as you said, this is where they can grow and build themselves. And it's through this, playing with the style that we saw in this previous match, that is what's going to make these teams so competitive when they move on into the Umzansi. Because the Umzansi teams, they already have that switch flicked. They know what they're doing, and this is a pretty good training ground for the teams to find those switches, switch them on, and build on that, and strengthen them even more so. So yeah, dude, I'm super excited to see what's going to happen. That previous round was pretty cool. And, we're seeing some familiar names coming in once again for the season of the Inkosi. And I'm really hoping that they, get to where they want to be in the season. Because you mentioned this as well, the opportunity for the teams to improve the placements from, in comparison to what they had in the previous season. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how the teams are going to try and change it up, improve those points, improve those placements. And then, of course, at the end of the day, improve their own gameplay. Because it's absolutely fantastic seeing how everything is going so far, and this is just an absolutely amazing boost for for the PUBG Mobile scene. We've got this whole collective competitive scene that is growing, week by week, month by month, season by season, and I mean, dude, I'm super proud to be part of this.
Yeah, same here. Absolutely, really, really good to see. Things. I mean, I was saying this at the end of the first season. It's so amazing to see the progression from the beginning of season 1 to the end. It was just absolutely amazing to see the teams performing at such a level. And I was actually chatting to someone a couple of days ago talking about it. I said it was so awesome to see that our teams have bumped up to such a level where I really think that we are producing some really high-class teams right now, and it's all because of this process right here. The Inkosi Super Cup, moving up into the Umzansi League, it is just, it's like a grinder, and outside of that grinder, you put all the teams in, and what comes out are some really, really high-quality teams just performing amazingly, and it's just amazing to watch. So, yeah, it's been super encouraging to see, and I certainly encourage you to sign on up if you've got a team for Inkosi. I believe the signups for the next season will be there at some point, so keep an eye out on there. If you're not signed up already, obviously just follow the league, just keep watching, see what's going on, and maybe you'll be here next season. You could put yourself against what we've got to offer, and maybe you'll come out on top and be one of the best, move up into Umzansi and start competing for even bigger prizes. It's going to be really, really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so the signups are, of course, happening on a weekly basis, and the links to that, you can find. Well, I think it's pretty much sent out over Discord and social medias. So be sure to go follow Nodwin Gaming Africa on all social media platforms. Hit them up, subscribe, like, follow, all the above, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. To receive all notifications on everything Inkosi and Umzansi related. So yeah, be sure to hit up that subscribe button and head, of course, over into the corner. Make sure you turn the notification on to all and not personalized, so you'll find you'll get notifications on everything that's happening on the channel. Not just PUBG, but Tekken 7, the FIFA, and of course the CSGO, which is all part of that Umzansi. And we are about to jump into the match. The plane's about to take off. Then we're going to see where this first flight path is going to be taking us for this first match of the finals. So quite excited to see what is going to be happening over here. And yeah, I'm just hoping for for that crazy action. So far, we haven't been disappointed, and it's a pretty good start. So let's see how it goes. So we should be heading into that momentarily.
Yeah, it's always fun to see where the zone goes, where the flight path goes, and this flight path actually going to be sending us down towards the south and a little bit slanted down west. So that's actually pretty nice because it denies a lot of the map. It also means that you can see like half the portion of the flight path itself also heading towards the military base. Now, this usually forces teams to choose whether or not they want to go to military, but usually it means a couple of them do, which is nice because I like to see teams dropping in towards the military island, so that's always fun. But it's also good because we get to see how the teams react in a situation where their favorite spots may not be available, and we get to see how they react to that. Where do they go? What do they do? Do they drop somewhere else, quickly set up, and then rotate immediately to where they're more comfortable? Like what exactly do they do in this scenario?
Yeah, so we'll definitely see what they're going to be doing. All I can just say is, the chat's quite funny. You'll discover soon enough. Yeah, they're calling you out, definitely. Good luck with that, though. But moving along on back to the game. Mr. Mars Faker asked me to say his name, so it's Mars Faker, I guess. But anyway, so moving along, we have them in the lobby here as well. So let's see how these teams are going to be playing. That, of course, being one of the Martian players. You can see them on the screen here. He's not even playing in this match. How ridiculous is that? But the rest of the team is here. We got Illusion Rain just moving about on that top floor, trying to get some loot going. And they're, of course, holding up there in South George. Several other teams, in fact, in the same region. We got the players there from the SAR Anonymous team. We also have the players from, that would be, there we go, Team Rage. All right, so Team Rage also with them in the area. And then, of course, we saw a quick few shots coming in there from FXA, just a little bit further down. So the teams are actually quite spread out in a sense. We got a little bit of clumping happening across the zone. A lot of that happening over towards the western side. If we look towards the east, in Malta, we have the players from Your Killer Is sitting very, very comfortable, just chilling there. There is no one for miles. They can just take all the time in the world, get ready, get those, those gatekeeps and whatnot set up. But in the meantime, we are seeing a few shots now actually coming in. And I think that was the Akatsuki team that we just saw those shots in the kill feed from.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, having a look at this is quite interesting. The flight path has caused all of the teams to be dropping into the west. And you can see when we eventually get that map, it's actually going to be all the way towards the west that the teams are really concentrated. So I'm hoping that we see a lot of fights happen there. But not only that, the zone is all the way towards the east, which means that not only is there so much potential for fights here in the west, but there is a very huge need for these teams to rotate, which means more fights. So I'm very keen for what happens in the next few moments. I really hope that these teams start to capitalize on, their positioning, because they have the teams close by. If they can get some early advantages, they'll be good. Then they can get that strength, move on up in towards the zone, set themselves up, and then take some more fights.
Yeah, we're seeing the players, of course, right up ahead of us here. that being the team there from Team Rage. We got SAR just up ahead of them, and of course Kapkan there from the Martians, and the team here from Force 4. So, well, yeah, it's really heating up in the surrounding area, and I'm waiting to see what's going to happen. We got Akatsuki, of course, just here with them. So, yeah, it's going to get spicy pretty early and pretty quickly. So, I'm looking forward to, you know, what's going to happen.
Yeah, same here, for sure. It's going to be quite interesting. And I'm noticing there's a couple of teams down in towards that military island, which is going to be quite nice. They have a pretty decent spot because that zone does actually encompass about half of the island. So there is that. They have a bit of freedom to move in that particular region, because I don't think a lot of teams will actually go down on that western bridge. I don't think they'll head over in towards the island. So those teams, they're sitting comfy, they're quite happy. But you could see in that kill feed there, just every now and then we're going to see some knocks coming through, some hits coming through. And that's what I like. I like to see that there is that tension that is building slowly up as these teams, you know, are quite close. That they're touching you know, base a little bit, making sure that they're putting the hits across, and just keeping one another honest. But I'm really waiting for those rotates to come through, because I think that that's where we're going to see a lot of fights. And if not, the western side of the zone is actually going to be the most crowded. So we'll probably see some fights happening there as well. So I'm really keeping my fingers crossed for those fights to start happening anytime. And you can see on your screen, there's potential for some maybe Akatsuki F4 fights right here in this compound.
Yeah. Yeah, there definitely is, and we've seen the plays coming in from the Akatsuki team. You know, they're not shy when it comes to taking confrontations. So hopefully they start, you know, turning up the heat ever so slightly and just move on in, and we might see exactly that coming from Zetsu here. So let's see how that's going to go. The team there from Akatsuki just waiting on the edge. There we go, up they come. Oh, down it goes Zetsu. Oh, that is such a pity. But of course, we find the anonymous guys right there. Big smoke getting sent up in some big smoke right back into the lobby. We got Barky and Twins still just up ahead of them. And that zone, of course, now starting to close in slowly but surely. And the teams on this western side of the zone starting to make their way in. So, yeah, I'm quite keen to see where they're going to rotate up to, because that zone is wide open. We only have, you know, 3 or 4 teams already positioned in that zone. No one making any major moves just yet. So yeah, I'm quite keen to see what's going to happen. We got the team there from AAA now slowly but surely moving up towards the players there from well, G69, G dollar sign. But in the meantime, F4 going up against Akatsuki. The hits flying in. There we go. Muhammad goes down. Lynx now right there, and this whole squad actually from F4 Force 4 moving in with quite some force, and, you know, pretty good movements there, I might add.
Oh, yeah, pretty good movements. They're taking out Akatsuki one by one. This is quite an interesting showing here. I definitely expected Akatsuki to put up a little bit more fight, but it seems like F4 are here to just absolutely wipe them out bit by bit. And I think once Muhammad goes down, there's only one remaining Akatsuki player off across. There's Cloud, and he's coming up trying to challenge, but is he going to be enough? I mean, he has to take so many fights here. They're all out of the window, just pinning him down. There is no ability for him to move, and there it is, done and dusted. F4 with a nice successful push, some nice aggression, and now, of course, with that blue zone moving in, they're going to have to rotate on up in towards the zone, which means a nice long journey ahead of them and some potential shots coming on through. You can see in that kill feed lighting up just a little bit as everyone is starting to make their way on in. Very nice to see.
Well, I mean, there's several players now making that approach, and then just look at school. It is so packed. We've got the players from, I think that's Godzilla moving in there. They're just roaring around that corner there. Godzilla Esports, yes, they are moving in. Well, and it's so packed, I can't even see who else is on that position. Well, we see the players, of course, they're from that G69. Also, just trying to escape, and right to the south, we've got AAA just holding that position. So a little bit of action might be coming in from that side, but of course, now in the meantime, this westerly side rather, is also getting super jam-packed with players. We've got some more heads coming in there on the players from Alpha Pack. Yeah, it is heating up bit by bit. The shots are starting to fly all over the place. The team from FXA making their way around. Zeus just thundering about and, you know, smashing into rocks as one does. But that was, of course, Hulk smash. So Hulk was the cause of that, and he gets taken out of the vehicle. Yay! Here we go. Action, action, action. Let's see. Will we get some more? Oh, Zeus trying to move up, trying to find those heads. But in the meantime, the players here from Godzilla making their way in, not seeing any towers in the nearby area. But FXA, they're still on the prowl once again, trying to get on up into zone. They have not finished off that player that we had there, Mr. Hulk. But as you can see, also just off to the side, they're not gaming, waiting. All right, there we go. Zeus jumping out of the vehicle, getting ready to take that engagement. They, of course, got that one knock, waiting to get more into the process. And the team that they are battling it out with, they're being fear. So at the moment, they seem to be, possibly a little bit fearless. Mr. 968, or Mr. Bad Thing here, making his way. Chris actually running himself over. Yeah. That's that you can't blame that on Ping though. I mean, he just got in the vehicle, so he's fine.
I resonate with this man's name on another level right there. That is certainly something else. Well, the hits coming through all across the board, but what I really want to focus in on just a little bit is the fact that the teams had a very interesting response to the flight path. They're still coming in. They're actually not all inside the zone right now. They still have to rotate. That zone's been going east a lot, and how they're responding to this is quite interesting. The fact that they're keeping those fights up is good to see. Hopefully, as the season progresses, we'll see a little bit more structure to the rotates and a little bit more thought in terms of that. But right now, what we're seeing is some good action, and the teams attempting to capitalize on the teams surrounding them, trying to take some fights, put the hits in when the rotates are coming through. So that's really, really good to see, and it's quite nice to see that is indeed coming through. Now, this zone is looking quite treacherous. A lot of it is water, which means reduced land, which is great because, of course, we already know that fighting for that real estate is a big part of these sort of mid to late game zones, which are coming through shortly. And right now, well, we've got a number of teams already inside the zone, but we have so many more that haven't yet made that rotation in, which is going to make those rotates that start to come through a little bit more challenging for these teams.
Yeah, no, definitely it's going to be quite challenging as they make their way in. And we see a few teams already moving up into towards the central part, that of course being the Martians, as well as the players there from Team Rage. On the screen, we have the players here from Ultra 6 making their way on in, just trying to squeeze in between a few other opposing teams. You can see Not Sorry just off in the distance there. We'll find out soon enough whether or not he's really not sorry. But of course, now you can see right up ahead of them there, we have the players from Dream Team Alpha. Oh, that's a glitch. Yes, it's a glitch. Lovely. There we go. I thought there was more players on screen, and actually turns out, well, there was. So everyone's slowly but surely making their way into that zone. It is once again getting super, super packed on the western side. It's like all the teams decided all at once it is time to move in right now. And let's just try and get some heads. Well, maybe that's exactly what we'll be getting. Ooh, yes, yes, yes. That's what we get. Mr. Ghost goes down. Dark Ghost getting taken out. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that name. But of course, now the player got taken down as well. Please let me know if you know in chat. Let me know. How do I say that name? It'd be cool. Otherwise, I'm going to call them John.
Bob too.
Because Bob's already taken. So let's see how this goes. Will the players here from Ultra be able to continue the hits? They're already sitting on 4 kills. Only 2 players remaining, though. Mullins and Patriot. So, yeah, caught in a little bit of a predicament. You've got a team sitting up towards their north, another one right over towards their southern position. So, yeah, let's see how this goes for them.
Interesting to note that we actually have a couple of players hovering about in the blue zone currently. We're about 2-3 zones in, and I mean, these guys are still out here moving through that blue zone, taking a bit of damage. And, yeah, that's it's tempting the fates a little bit. Interesting to see that comes out a little bit more prominently. And we've been seeing a couple of people do that in recent times. So interesting to see that that's still happening. Hopefully, we can see a little bit less of that coming through. But for the moment, of course, Mullins now on the screen, putting some hits right across in there. This DP man just doing a lot of damage. It is quite the powerful weapon. And it is definitely laying down that fire at present. But, yeah, I think this team right here is sitting Are they inside the zone yet? No, they aren't. They still have to make the rotation. So there's about 3 teams in this area with them, and they're going to have to rotate pretty quickly.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of movement in that central part. The teams are actually starting to form a line from north to south. So we got the players from Team Rage right almost smack dab center. Right below them we got the Martians. Below them we've got Not Gaming. Below them we have the players there from Black Clover. So Black Clover also being one of the teams that we've not really seen play that much before, but hopefully this season will be the season where we can see some gameplay coming in from their side, as well as the team there from AAA just up ahead. Shots flying up from Mullins once again, stepping it up with that DP28 all over the place. And, well, yeah, I think it's going to get pretty packed. But what's interesting to note also is that the players there from Force 4, they've rotated up in towards Prison. Right now, judging on the zone, the only way for them to get out of that position is to rotate through the blue zone back into the rest of the map. So it's going to be a little bit of a tricky position they find themselves in there. But yeah, we see the teams now still moving up. The players here from Team Rage just trying to see if they can find the angles on the Martians up ahead. And so far, I don't think they've found any just yet.
Yeah, the Martians sitting pretty comfy in that compound over there, and you could see Godless and Salati just sitting right on this rock, looking for a couple of angles in. But they're really going to have to pick their fights quite smartly, because as soon as they do start putting those hits in, obviously Mars going to be looking in their direction. So there come some of the hits from Godless. Mars know of their position. They're going to look to try and get the return fire in. And of course, Mars have a really good dug-in position here. They're sitting quite happy inside that compound. They don't have to do anything at the moment. They don't have to go anywhere. And well, the zone seems to agree with them at this point. So yeah, right now they're in a really good position.
Yeah, so we're just keeping an eye on the teams now, seeing how they're going to choose to rotate, because of that zone, you know, about to shift up once again, or rather, so it has already shifted down, moving even further towards the south, just stopping right before that water's edge. But I mean, oh, Bashibo nearly having well, he actually had a beautiful angle right there on one of the players, and I'm surprised to see that he didn't actually take that shot. That lined up perfectly. I mean, it was just one tap away. Yeah, it was one tap away from being a beautiful shot. But hey, you know, welcome to PUBG Mobile. Up ahead, we got the players there from Alta 6 once again. And the blue zone now stepping up to the plate, starting to claim players all over the place, slowly but surely. And, well, we've got a nice, lovely little drop going on here. The players from Your Killer Is now just moving into the spot. As you can see, they've already managed to find a drop previously, because Fantasy there, wearing Giddy suit, you only get that in the drop. And now the players there from Godzilla just driving right past them, setting themselves up in zone. So now I'm just waiting. Oh, wait, never mind. Godzilla's dead. Your Killer Is killed Godzilla. Well done. Well played.
Damn.
Yeah, well, that's not
that's not an end to that movie. Yeah, it's certainly not the
Very
end we've all
abrupt end.
seen. But actually, speaking of Your Killer Is, this is a team that I've wanted to see a little bit of performance from, considering that they are, they are a team that we're familiar with. We've seen them before, and from what I remember, their performances haven't been too bad here. And I'm expecting that they will be able to put at least something in here for us, even going into this match here. I'm interested to see how they perform in this one and potentially the rest of the season. It's because I would very much like to measure up some of the names that we've seen in Inkosi before against some of the new ones that we've seen, and that's something that I want to focus a little bit on just as we progress through the season, because it'll be interesting to see how the sort of new teams measure up, because it'll be quite cool if the new teams are bringing something new to the table, or bring a really high skill set to the table. It'll be really cool to see. So I'm very interested to follow Your Killer Is moving forward, and of course how they perform against the rest of these teams.
Yeah, it's good seeing the more man, what's the word that I'm looking for? I won't say experienced team. There's another fancy term that I was thinking of, and I completely blanked out on that. But whatever, the teams that have been at the Inkosi Super Cup, for a little bit longer now. Well, there we go. Force 4 getting taken out by Fear, Mr. Hype Ping. Just Ping in, doing what Ping does and just messing everything up for the opponents. Beautifully played. I mean, well done. So, yeah, you should fear the Ping. So, beautifully played. But yeah, what I was trying to say is, the more experienced players in the Inkosi scene here, it's good to see how the new teams actually compare against them, and having that mix up, new blood coming in and just mixing it up actually in its totality, improves the performance of all the teams across the board.
Yeah, very very nice use of wordage there. Congratulations! I'll
My
give
head
you a
hurts
hand for that one.
My head hurts.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's
it's the heat. Woo.
Yeah, the heat actually kind of has been a little bit off-putting, So it's nice to see that. Oh, the heat in game. Well, I mean that's true too. That's true too. But instead of off-putting, the heat inside the game has been absolutely pog champ, if I do say so myself. And what else has been very interesting is that zone moving down towards the southwest. We've already got about 4 or 5 teams sitting inside the zone already. See a couple more moving in. We've got 13 teams remaining at this point, about 39 players left, which is still a pretty sizable number considering we're now moving into a zone that's about 400 or so meters across.
Yeah, and we got the players there from the Dream Team sandwich right in between Sting Gaming. And then, of course, just towards the south, as you can see on the screen, we've got the AAA team, Ultra 6, moving in from that. Oh, Mullins getting taken down. I was about to say they're moving in from that eastern side, but the heads are now just flying in towards them. The teams are now starting to open up and just start popping off those heads. Up comes Fear. You can see the hyping just crossing the screen. They're moving over towards Bart. Now let's see, will they be able to hold them off? Are they going to be able to get a successful push right there? Black Clover, of course, all the way on the right-hand side of the screen, sitting in the southern part of the zone. Teams really spreading out across here, and yeah, so far it's looking pretty good though. I mean, they've spaced out pretty well, being able to cover quite a lot of the angles. So let's see how this one goes.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how this unfolds. Sting Gaming in a little bit of a pinch here with quite a number of teams surrounding them, but Bart going to be putting in quite a bit of damage there. He does eventually go down. Muka's going to put the nail in the coffin for him as well. The thirst comes through. Now Sting Gaming in a little bit of a tight spot. The shots coming in from all across the board, actually. You can see right here on your screen, we've got a number of teams in pretty close proximity. Your killer is putting in a couple of bits of work there off in the distance. And, well, this could be quite an interesting setup here because, of course, the zone is slowly moving its way in. It's going to get a whole lot smaller. So close. They're 100% going to be in a good position to fight here. So I'm interested to see if the teams maybe take a chance to start pushing up early before the zone moves in, just to get themselves in a bit more of a comfortable spot to rotate.
Yeah, and we're actually seeing quite a few hits coming in. The team's not getting ready with those smoke grenades all over the place. Mars now, Enzo. Yeah, okay, so he's there trying to get some loot there. So we got the Martians all the way up in the northern part of the zone, right next to them, as you can see on the map there. We've got, or on the screen rather, we've got Team Rage slowly but surely moving about, and I'm waiting to see where this next zone is going to be shifting towards, because the teams they're close together, not close enough just yet, but I definitely think with this next zone, it's going to just heat up. And there we go. That zone has shifted over towards the southern side. Not so many compounds left in that area. So, yeah, it's going to be a battle for compounds. And a few teams are going to get caught out in that open area. And we're going to see those hits coming in. And like you can see on the screen right now, Mr. Unknown jumping off there, popping a quick few shots in. And, well, it is about to get even hotter. There we go. AAA now starting the fight right there with the players from that G69. Yeah, pretty good plays coming in.
Yeah, you're up right now. That zone all the way down south, and you can see a couple of the teams already in there in a pretty decent position, but the rest of them going to have to fight their way on in, and that is exactly what's happening right now. All the teams trying to move down in towards the zone. You can see here there's a bit of a frantic dash to try and make it in there. But, well, when you start to move up, you start to expose yourself as well, and that's exactly what's happening at the moment. The shots are coming through. Yakila is feeling a bit of the pain. Unknown here, watching over the wall, watching for the competition. Are they going to spot him out there? They surely have. They've seen him by now. Right over the wall, and they're going to be jumping in and just absolutely obliterating him. Unknown heads on in to the unknown abyss that waits for him. That is the lobby there, and that is the same for a whole lot of these players as the hits are now coming through. The team numbers are being culled bit by bit. 20 players left alive, 7 teams in this lobby, and surely those numbers are to be reduced a whole lot more.
Yeah, and this northern part of the zone, it is just absolutely insane. You've got so many teams, so many players just packed into this region. Your killer is still holding up pretty well. That, of course, just being over towards that eastern side. And, well, there we go. Triple A on the prowl. Once again, the whole section towards the southern side actually being quite open. You can see your killer is now starting to put in a few grenades over towards the team there from Fear. They've actually taken down 2 of the players. We're just waiting for the high ping to hit. So let's see, will your killers be able to take down the high ping? Well, it is coming in bit by bit. The players there from Team Rage, of course, now all falling victims to high ping. Man, this is going to be so tough. It is starting to heat up bit by bit as we make our way through the zone. We also have the players from Not Gaming still holding off all the way on that far edge on the eastern side. So a lot of movement can still happen here. The teams still moving back and forth. 15 players, 7 teams. Triple A already sitting on 7 kills for this round. Pretty good kill count there. And let's see if they can continue that and get even more. But the heads are now starting to fly in. High ping jumping over the wall, puts a head in. Your killer is. You're going to see that. Oh, it's going to start heating up even more. Heads after heads after heads. Just look at the kill feed. It's going to go absolutely insane.
Yeah, your killer is trying a bit of a strat to try and jump in a con and yeet away, but it's not really working. Your killer is taking quite a bit of damage from that one. Not the maneuver that they needed. They couldn't make it happen, and now they are down and out. 5 teams remaining here, 10 players alive. Those numbers have indeed been reduced, but they are to be reduced a whole lot more because only one team can walk away with that chicken right now. Who's it going to be is the question. We have the Not Gaming squad on 1 single player. And the same can be said for a couple other teams actually sitting on a little bit of a struggle in terms of player count. But, well, we have 2 teams sitting on 3 players each. So they're looking like the powers that be at the moment. They've got the strongest positions at least. But the zone really will be the decider because the AAA squad there have the zone advantage at this point. And they're sitting in a building as well. So they've got some good cover.
Yeah, they seem to be all charged up and ready to go. And Team Rage now starting to move in. We'll see whether or not they'll be able to get a successful push. You can see on screen, of course, now that being the players from the team there. The Martians making their way. There we go. Team Rage now pushing up. Triple A just up ahead of them. Will Slat be able to get hits in? Just dodging the shots. Intruder managing to find a quick shot on Chris. Oh, Slat getting taken down. Wow, I must be careful not to say that name. The way I just said it. It could be interpreted in a very strange way, but well, Mr. Devil just holding a watchful eye on that corner. Team Rage King, of course, now making a quick dash up into a zone. Goes right there with them. So the team from AAA still moving into this next zone with 3 players. Well, yeah, pretty good numbers. So we got 3 players going up against, well, I think 3 solos making their move into this fight. No, sorry, 2 solos. Sorry, my math failed me there for a second. So 2 solos standing, between the team there from AAA and that chicken dinner. One of them being the Devil and the other one being the player there. Lucid Shark. Oh, there we go. Rain's also there. Yeah, Illusion Rain. Yeah, my math didn't fail me. Actually, I got it right. Smack on. So 1v2v3. There we go. Devil gets taken down. So now it is a whole bunch of solos. 2 solos versus a trio. Yes, let's see how this one goes. Wow, 11 kills for AAA already. Hot damn.
Yeah, that's quite sizable, and I think they have a really good position to win this as well because Lucid Shark and Illusion Rain actually need to really make a lot happen here to try and win this, and I think it's going to be difficult to play around that, especially with the amount of just control that AAA has right now. As soon as they spot one out, they get taken down, and I think they've already done that. Intruder has indeed spotted one out. The shots need only to come in, and they should do momentarily. Lucid Shark has to try and make this happen, but with so much stacked up against him, can it be? Well, he comes out, and the answer is no. He's going to be taken down by Intruder with some decisive shots, and now Illusion Rain, the last one left, and he's going up 1v3 in quite a difficult situation, basically impossible at this point. He's going to have to find some very, very clean consecutive shots, and I'm not sure if that is even possible at this point. He spots out one, but I think he's been spotted out as well, and now he needs to make the move. He needs to try and make it happen. He gets one, but can it be 2 or 3? The answer is no as well. He's going to go down eventually.
Yeah, Triple A really coming in with the battery right there at the end, putting those hits in. 14 kills to their name, and the chicken dinner beautifully played. Mars finishing up in second place with 4 kills. We got the Dream Team coming in third place with that 1 kill. We got Team Rage finishing on in fourth place with 2 kills to their name. We got Not Gaming finishing in fifth place, coming in with 8 kills. We got Fear in sixth place with 7 kills. We got the players from your Killer Ears in seventh place with 4. We got the players from, sorry, I'm trying to remember all the different tags as best I can. Black Clover finishing in 8th place. There we go. We got the players, of course, there from that G69 Gaming finishing off in 9th place. We got Phoenix finishing in 10th place. The players there from Sting Gaming finishing in 11th. We got the SAR Anonymous team in 12th place. Then, of course, we got the players here in the next one being Ultra 6 Team 13. We got Force 4 finishing in 14th place. Godzilla getting sent back in 15th. We got FXA in 16th. Alpha Pack in 17th. And then, of course, Akatsuki being the first team to be sent back into the lobby. So there we go. There we have it. You can see the scores on the screen here. Yeah, pretty well done to, the teams placing in the top part of the zone. They've really put in quite a bit of work, especially, from the top 6 teams. We actually see quite good kill counts coming in from the teams there. Yeah, and a beautiful performance there by the AAA. Really, really, really well played. And, well, yeah, looking forward to our next zone. Next round.
Yes, well, we'll get plenty of zones in the next match, I'm sure. Of course, we still have those 2 more to go, which is quite exciting. But man, AAA, that performance was quite interesting, because that was a very nice number of kills plus chicken dinner, which is of course what we keep talking about as being the sort of goal. If they can continue to do that, they're going to definitely be a team to watch. In fact, I think I can even say they're a team to keep an eye on already with that kind of performance. Yeah. Definitely looking forward to seeing how they're going to fare in the next couple of matches.
Yeah, they were definitely in charge. They were definitely in charge in this match, So, yeah, let's see. Can they continue the trend into the next one? I think we're going to head into a quick break while we wait for the second round to get underway. And we'll be back with you guys shortly. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, guys. We are getting ready to move straight into our next match. Well, so far it has been pretty spicy. The team's putting up a pretty good performance so far. So hopefully they're going to continue that going through this next match as well. We're waiting for that plane to take off. We're about 30 seconds out. So then we'll see where that flight path is going to be taking us, where that zone is going to be shifting to, and of course, whether or not we're going to have, what we already saw in, the previous match, the teams landing in a little bit of a clumpy spread there. It does provide us with some nice early game action, of course, but it's not particularly ideal for the teams. Puts a lot of pressure on them, and they've got to adapt really quickly. And well, or sometimes it's not always. Not always in a way that they would have hoped it to be. So let's see how it goes. Yeah. Any predictions you got for this match, Patchy?
Well, I mean, honestly, at this stage, I think it's too early on in the season to really say anything about too much. Sitting here analyzing all this is not going to be worth it at this stage. I mentioned earlier I was looking at who's going to be the standout set of teams. That's really what I'm looking for coming out of this, because that's going to give me an indication of which teams to maybe keep an eye on going forward into the season, because we've still got a lot of season to go. It's a long time. We've got some nice weeks ahead of us. It's going to be good to let these teams settle in, but I want to see who kicks it off strong. And right now, the AAA team, they did a really good job previously, and I'm looking to see if they will make it to the top once again here in this match. Because if they do, and they do that again in the next one, then I'm really going to have to pencil them in right at the top of my list for teams to watch in this season. It's going to be interesting to follow them and see how they, move through the season. So that's sort of what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see if there are any other teams that maybe pop out that have really good performances. And then that'll give us some good groundwork to work off of going into the rest of the season. And then we can start making some predictions.
Yeah. Well, we're already seeing a few teams dropping right down into Primorsk, so things might actually start heating up right from the get-go. We see two teams right in there, that of course being the players from Ultra 6 and of course the team from Fear. We got Hype being right in there with them. The team from SAR Anonymous landing a little bit over towards that western side. And we have a southern zone once again for this round. Wow, what are the odds of that happening? I mean, this is just absolutely insane. Even a part of the zone is out of the map. So just right out of the gate, we're already playing with the very small playable area. And we see a few teams now heading up over in towards those northern parts to go out, get some loot, and then hopefully they'll rotate into some pretty strong positions, right there in zone. But of course, looking at the Sosnovka military island itself, we've got a few teams already right there. The team there from the Dark Clovers, or Black Clovers rather, already managing to earn themselves some of those non-redeemable patchy points. So let's see what they're going to be able to do. Are they going to hold on to their position? Because it is a pretty good one. And of course, we've got the players there from the Dream Team right there in the Nova crates with the team from Phoenix Uprising. So we might see a nice fight breaking out there. But in the meantime, we have the Martians right here with one of the players from Force 4.
Yeah, this is nice. I like this setup. The zone going down to the south is just absolutely my favorite. Heading over to the military island, absolutely my favorite. Now Capcan putting in some hits there. Mars making sure that they're just getting on right up into the grill of F4, and that's exactly what's going to be happening there. Devil, of course, putting in some assistance there as well, putting in some hits. But yeah, this setup is really what I like. Once again, it's really pushing the teams to perform. It's not letting them settle at all, which I actually kind of like, because I've been thinking about it, and actually putting the pressure on from the get-go, forcing the teams to perform, forcing to adapt and really sort of move to the situation is really good. That's what I've actually been waiting for. Letting them sort of settle in easy in the beginning. That's not the way that you build these players up. That's not how they do it in any of the the boot camps or whatever it is that try and push your performance, and that's not how it should be here. So it's good to see that none of these teams are getting freebies right here. It's right at go. It's just going to be super difficult. And Hulk putting in some smash there in the kill feed, putting some shots right on in. And yeah, I mean, this is nice. This is really nice seeing the teams sitting on that island. I think there's a couple of them just chilling there for the moment, and they have a pretty good position, especially if it's going down in that direction.
Yep, and the hyping strikes again. Well done, well played. The players there from Ultra 6, of course, getting caught in a pretty tough one. And we also saw in the kill feed there that Mr. Big Smoke there from the SAR Anonymous team ran someone over, and the remainder of the squad kept on going. And now we have the players, of course, also just off in the distance there, that being players from a team that we don't have on the list. That's interesting. Yeah. But anyway, all right. So well, there we go. We got the anonymous team off in the distance somewhere. They're moving about. And yeah, I'm waiting to see how these teams are going to take these confrontations. We can see the team from Fear still just doing a little bit of a dance around here with the players from Ultra 6. They've managed to claim one of the players, still 3 of them left, full squad for Fear. And they're all now starting to, well, hopefully move in bit by bit. You can only see that we've got Mr. Hyping on the one side, the remainder of the squad coming in from that southern side. So maybe they move in with a bit of a pincer move there and actually start doing a little bit of damage to these players.
Yeah, we'll see if that's about to happen. Certainly they have it set up so they can make something happen. In the meantime, Red going to be putting them in it towards Wreck. You can see Barky here on your screen moving about, trying to have a look and see what the prey is doing inside the house. At this point, there could be some potential. And now they come. He goes down. Barky now trying to support, but he's getting hit as well from a lot of different angles here. He's going to have to be very careful. They're running it very quickly, and he may have not noticed it. Yeah, they come straight on in, and he goes immediately down. So this is some nice aggression that we're seeing all across the board. And Fear, of course, taking now that fight against Ultra 6. Dark goes right in the crosshairs of Blood as this high pink man goes straight on up and decides to endow some teams with high pink, but he goes down, and now it's a bit of a difficult situation. Ultra 6 making a very clean counterattack.
Well, so far it's been a pretty good play by them right there on the spot. And let's see now, will they be able to continue that? Oh, that team, of course, now, the one that I said, the unknown one, that is the players there from the Punishers. So, yeah, we now know who they are. But yeah, the team here from Fear down to their last player. The remainder of the squad, of course, getting taken on. So pretty good play coming in there from Ultra 6. So well done. Yeah, let's see if they can continue that trend. The blue zone, of course, slowly but surely closing in. You can see Mr. Blood here is running for his life. And in the meantime, we be moving over towards the players there from, well, that is the exact team that I was talking about just now. We had the Punishers on screen for a brief moment. And of course, the Dream Team now getting hit by Phoenix. Bit by bit, up they come. The shots flying in. Oh, down goes Ray. Down goes Poseidon. We got Azar now moving in. Onyx also right there for some support. Killer Beam moving in. We've seen Killer Beam before. Let's see, will Killer Beam be able to get it? Oh, the hits. Oh, down he goes. So only got Rash and Funky left.
Oh, Rash is making the damage happen right now.
Dead.
He's going to be putting some hits in. Yeah, no, Rash is there. He's sitting right there. He's putting the hits in, and he's actually keeping Lucid Shock alive for the moment. They're trying to hunt him down, but if he can get behind that wall, it might just be enough for Rash to come down and get a quick res, and he has made it. So Rash can make the moves now, potentially get the res in on his teammate. Maybe just equalize the numbers just a little bit, take some better fights. But of course, now on your screen, some extra shots coming through. Here comes Azar. He's going to put them in, and there it is. And dust it goes down, and it's not enough.
Yeah, but Rash got caught with a glitch, right? If you jump out that window, you get stuck in the window. That's why we didn't see him move much. He didn't go anywhere because he was stuck. So Phoenix had an easy kill right there, moving in, finding those heads. So well done, well played. You know, yeah, sometimes glitches count in your favor, other times not so much. And as we saw now, for the team there, yeah, definitely didn't count in their favor. But we got the players, of course, from the Martians here now trying to pop a few heads over towards the team off in the distance, that being your killer is. So a big majority of the teams already making their way up in towards the zone. The players from the Black Clovers, they've managed to rotate themselves all the way further down on that Sosnovka military base. So I'm curious to see, you know, where the other teams are going to rotate up into, because a pretty big region, in fact, almost the whole region is very close to that military base, just waiting for the shift now to come in. There you go. There we have it. All right, so it moves south once again. So Military Island it is. Sosnovka Military Island. Yeah, we've seen a few interesting finishes, especially when the zone moves this far south, and we got quite a few players still trying to break out of that blue zone. Akatsuki, of course, being one of those teams.
Yeah, that is a very nice shift. I mean, not for the players, but definitely for me. I like seeing that coming through. It's once again going to make things super difficult for the team. Lots of land eliminated due to the water in the zone. And, well, now the teams have to rotate on down and they have to get in towards that military. I'm also super crowded, teams already there. So we could definitely see a whole lot of bridge camping potentially coming in, something like that, which means lots of kills ahead. Definitely lots of fights going to happen. And now teams looking for some alternate routes as well, hopping into some transport, trying to get themselves over in towards that island where the rest of the showdowns will be taking place. We'll see who manages to bring their way into it, who manages to fight their way on out. 19 teams still in this lobby, 62 players. So lots of teams and players to contend with at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see the players there from Sting Gaming, of course, just slowly but surely making their way up. We've got a lovely drop out here in the middle of nowhere. But the players from Ultra 6 already on it. Let's see, they're going to move in and get themselves some of that nice loot. You can see, of course, we got the AUG and a nice 8-scope and some level 3 goodies in the box. And, well, it seems like the great migration here. So many teams now heading on towards that zone. We might see your Killer Is and the players from Not Gaming actually setting up a bit of a bridge camp on both of the bridges there. And, well, so many players yet to make their push over on towards that military island. So, yeah, they might actually start just raking in those kills in the process. And there's a lot of movement happening on the main island.
Yeah, there certainly is. And right now on your screen, we're seeing the dance of the pink crate. And finally, we get to have a look and see what is going on for the rest of the teams. You can see a little bit of a bridge camp going on here. AAA, the team that really performed previously, doing some serious damage. They have taken up pole position here towards the bridge, waiting to capitalize on anyone foolish enough to attempt to cross. And, well, let's see if it works out for them. They did a really good job in the previous match. Now let's see they can replicate some of that success. Right now, Mars moving with that boat that they managed to get their hands on, moving up, trying to get themselves into the zone as well and just into a comfortable spot. And they're actually going to be jumping out of the boat because they're under fire. The attack coming straight on through from some well-positioned players here on the bridge. That, of course, being Not Gaming here, taking up the position and making things difficult. Those rotations, yeah, not going to be easy.
Yeah, I was about to say exactly the same about the position here. The team here from Not Gaming, they've really chosen fantastic placement on this bridge. Really able to camp out quite a lot of it and, of course, take full advantage of it as they are putting those shots straight over towards the Martians as they're now just trying to swim underneath the bridge here. You've got Mr. Zolad sending a quick nade across. No, it doesn't hit anyone, but hey, it was worth the attempt. And we're seeing so many players out in the blue zone, not managing to get their rotations done, especially over towards the eastern side. So many of them getting caught out there. And of course, now the players here from Not Gaming just sitting here with this beautiful bridge camp, but they can't sit here forever. They got a few seconds still on the clock. Then they need to get that rotation done once again, rotate on up in towards the zone. And man, this blue zone is just starting to do quite a bit of damage. You can see the kills now. The kills are about to come in. There we go. Head after head. Now just lining up. AAA actually getting hit by the red zone as well. The blue zone. Sorry.
Yeah, well, the zones are coming up and they're definitely doing the damage as they would. And it's always good to see that blue zone biting at the heels of all the players, making sure they are kept honest and on their feet. AAA continuing to put the hits in there towards F4, and on your screen here you can see Sparkle trying to put those shots across as well, trying to pick up a few kills. Has to be wary of the teams in front and behind, but it seems to be no problem at the moment for them. They are handling things bit by bit, but the question is how long will they be able to do it, because here comes that blue zone making things a whole lot more difficult, and it's already 3 zone deep, moving in towards 4, so that blue zone is going to do a little bit of damage. They have to be cool about how they move here.
Yeah, 100% agree with you on that, and we got quite a bit of a conversion on the bridge. Several teams now just starting to lump up right there. And the zone at the moment being pretty open. The safe zone, you know, where the players can move on up into, it's pretty open, and this blue zone is closing in once again. These teams need to get their butts in. Oh, Zeus coming in with the shot. Wow, beautiful timing, just getting the hit in, and we see the team there from AAA also now just getting a quick few kills in that kill feed. So now what I want to see is whether or not the players from the Martians will be able to make a successful rush into zone. They are in a bit of a tricky spot here, quite low on health. They will, of course, now quickly just trying to res up the team so they can get their move on. And it seems like we might have a few gatekeepers just up ahead of them, because there's a high concentration of players actually moving in from this northern side.
Yeah, there certainly is, and that means lots and lots of fights are about to happen. As you can see in the kill feed there, that is exactly what's going down. The shots are flying as the teams are trying to fly as well, heading on into those casts to zoom as quickly as possible in towards the zone, even trying to put a couple of shots in across as they make it happen. But, well, we will see Godzilla making it in towards the zone, trying to set themselves up, and luckily this building right here is not occupied, so they will be able to take control. But there are a couple of teams nearby, so they will have to be careful. Not Gaming sitting just over the crest of the hill, but they're in a decent spot to take a fight at least. Some Grens being lobbed in that direction. We'll see how this goes. Not Gaming, definitely not a squad to trifle with, but Godzilla have a pretty decent spot, so they could defend this one pretty easily.
Yeah, so let's see if they're able to capitalize on that position. Well, the hits though coming in from Force 4 right over to FXA. Man, it is proving to be quite challenging for these teams to find a good position, especially in the zone. And this once again being one of those crazy shifts of flight. The shots now, in fact, coming straight over towards the team here from Force 4 once more. So yeah, proving to be quite difficult. Let's see, will Zoom and company be able to make it in? But Spidey just holding off on the back end there. And of course, now moving over to Godzilla. Oh, it strikes again. The hits coming in. Will they be able to continue it? Ice quite low on health. He is one hit away from the lobby. Putting the hits in towards Phoenix. We've got Azad just bobbing and weaving, dodging shots and landing the hits. There we go. Well played to Phoenix, taking out Godzilla. And of course, the players here from Ultra 6 now just holding up into that compound that we saw them moving in not too long ago. But the remainder of the lobby seems to be spreading out quite a considerable amount.
Yeah, they're going to have to be careful here. The zone obviously moved in once again, but it's right in the middle of everything, and the teams are going to have to converge at some point, which of course means that they're going to have to fight for their spots. And you can see that's exactly what's happening. F4 right in the north doing exactly that, trying to fight for that path in towards the zone. But a whole lot of other teams need to do the same as well. They need to move on in, and there already are one or two teams sitting in the middle of the zone. So they have to be careful about not only how they take the fights to get into the zone, but how they set themselves up to take the fights in the zone as well, because there's already going to be a whole lot of pressure in there. They don't have much time to think about it either, because that zone is moving in right now.
And we see a few teams, you know, going for a bit of a splash once more. A lot of them actually just holding on to those cliff edges. The team from Akatsuki managing to come in, and FXA now just making their quick dash up into zone. Let's see whether or not Force 4 will be able to get in on time as well. Now the team here from Ultra 6 starting to pick off the shots over towards your killer is. You can see Ziploc just off in the distance there, taking a few hits, trying to make it into zone on that motorbike. Well, yeah, the zone shifting up just a little bit. Well, the blue zone not closing in too quickly just yet. I think this next shift, I'm hoping that it stays on land and doesn't really move down to the water. We've seen that happen before, and it proved to be quite challenging for the teams, almost nearly impossible for them to actually, you know, get those finishing blows in. So we'll see how it goes. We've got quite a few players just chilling on that water edge as well. So yeah, let's see if the zone decides to move down in that section. Those teams are, you know, they sorted, they waxed, they don't have to go anywhere. Oh, but they hit on Zoom. Yeah, that was a dope shot. Well done too. Let's call him dope. The Black Clover coming in with a dope shot. Yeah, that was a hella dope shot. Well done, well played.
DK hit with the kids, dope shots all around. Not gaming
Mhm.
here on your screen, holding things up towards the north. There's a couple of teams just ahead of them, but they've got their crosses trained in the right direction. Of course, Triple A is still alive on the back end, so they're still in play, and I'm interested to see if they can make it up this time around. But in the meantime, God putting some serious hits in it towards the Not Gaming squad, trying to get those through. Hiding in the grass, you're hoping not to be spotted, but how long is that going to last is the question. Surely he gets picked off at some point. He's surrounded by a number of players, and any one of them could spot him out at this stage. They are looking, they're just trying to scout out where the shots came from, but everyone trying to hit the deck, as of course that zone has moved in, gotten a whole lot smaller, and restricted the space in which these 33 players can play. Definitely a lot of players to occupy such a small zone, and this could become a little bit chaotic here.
Yeah, and I mean that pink helmet actually working pretty well in that in the green foliage right there. Foliage. We got the players here from Ultra 6 moving up bit by bit. Oh, Not Gaming just on the receiving side. But of course, they are very welcoming to Patriot there. Sends him right down. And actually a beautiful shot coming in from the back here. Mr. God just blowing up the vehicle right there on them. It's always great to see those vehicles exploding. And now Ultra 6 trying to battle it out. And the team here from G69 right on the edge of that zone. Not a bad position to be in, but several more teams trying to rotate on in. And, well, that southern side of the zone getting quite crammed up as there's a lot of cliffs and not a lot of space for the players to go to.
Yeah, some nice tracing coming through from Dark Ghost to knock out a couple of teams, and now some Grens going the way of Not Gaming to try and suppress them and maybe do a bit of damage. They're already softened up quite a bit. You can see those HP bars not looking too good. In the meantime, it's actually going to go down, and Triple A actually taking quite a bit of damage as well. We'll see if Mullins and Dark Ghost can make the assault in towards Not Gaming. They are very low on HP, and if they pull the trigger now, it could be big. We'll see if they take the moment, but in the meantime, Cam's going to go down as well. So those numbers slowly dropping. Teams now 11 and 24 players, and of course a whole lot of those need to go out as well, because only one team can come out with the chicken in this game. The question is, who's it going to be? Is it going to be one of these teams on the screen? Of course, it has to be. Okile is off in the distance as well, so they're still up and fighting, of course, AAA as well, but everyone's now trying to put the hits in. AAA taking quite a bit of damage in the meantime, trying to put the hits back on in. Mullins also looking in the distance, trying to put shots into Okile, is barely escaping, but the hits just missing from Mullins.
Yeah, no, this is actually quite, well, it's turning out to be quite a challenging zone for the players here. You can see Phoenix now just popping a quick few hits in towards the team there. That, of course, being the players there from the Punishers. So a lot of work now being put into the teams here. Oh, Not Gaming popping another one in towards Dark Ghost. Mullins now the last hopeful for the for the team here from Ultra 6. And up comes Not Gaming, pushing in bit by bit. Not sparing anything on the aggression front. Here we go. Let's see. Will they make a successful push, or will we see Mr. Dark Ghost there? Oh, sorry, Mullins being able to claim, maybe to clutch it out. It could happen. You never know.
It could happen. It could happen, but Not Gaming is on the hunt. They're looking for him, and Mullins is trying to hit the stairs, trying to get that advantage, peeking down the angle, but it isn't challenged just yet. And in the meantime, Inferno going to go down. Not Gaming looking to pop things up, but oh, that early pre-fire is going to give away his position, and now they're coming for him, and they will take him with an absolute vengeance. Mullins goes immediately down in that zone. Of course, it's shifted up as well. It is super small, about 150 or so meters across, and everyone's trying to get in there, and you can see they're losing their lives to make it happen. You can see BC right on the edge with a couple of teams surrounding them. The shots coming through, everyone trying to put them in, but the cover is getting a whole lot less and less as the zone gets smaller.
Elite Gyro really in a tricky position here. The shots now coming in. The team's actually finding those hits. Oh, down they go. Zeus. Yep. Stepping up to God tier, just putting the hits in and just punishing Elite Gyro right there. Several more hits, of course, not coming in from the Black Clovers. A lot of action. 6 teams, 14 players remaining. Your killer is, taking a few hits there. Let's see, will Zeno and company be able to get it in? Fantasy just crashing straight into the rock, turning the attention, of course, right over towards the players there from Phoenix. Let's see, will they make a successful push? The hits now coming in. We've got Mohammed from Akatsuki right there with them as well. 6 teams, 13 players. The number going down slowly but surely. 12 players left. Another one biting the dust. lobby it is. And it's an interesting spread. You can see there's so many players sitting over towards that southern side, well, south to southeast. And of course, your killer is we got all the way over towards the western side, and the players here from Not Gaming sitting quite comfortably up in the north. No one really here to contest their position. A lot of the players down in that southern side just battling for control, seeing that there's quite so many of them right there.
Yeah, this is interesting. They've got the crossfire seriously going here. BC trying to put it in towards Not Gaming, and Not Gaming with very little cover here. They've got some cars in a tree to try and work with, and the HP bars getting hit here and there. They really have to try and recover bit by bit. You can see Zalad in the grass trying to crawl on up and get a couple of hits, and Onyx doing the same, and he's got a really good shot in towards your killer is. Your killer is feeling the pain right there. They're going to get hit real hard. 4 teams now remaining, 10 players left, and Zeus now looking for an angle, looking for the shots in towards Akatsuki, and they're getting hit as well, but they've got some rocks at least to try and hide behind. They're peeking right into the shots from Zeus. If he can land a couple more, it might be the end of them. He is putting them through, but so far hasn't landed that crucial shot. So the battles will continue, but 3 teams remaining, sitting in a bit of a triangle of doom once again as the zone gets a whole lot smaller, forces these teams in. Who is going to be the victor in this scenario?
Well, the team there, Black Clover and of course Phoenix, they seem a little bit reluctant to move up in towards zone. I know it's a quite the open plains right up ahead of them, not a lot of cover really to utilize, but you know they don't have much choice because that zone's moving in a few seconds time. They're gonna have to move into zone. Just try and find a rock or a tree or a leaf to hide behind and hope that you don't get spotted out just yet. Because at the moment, the players here from Not Gaming, they actually have a little bit of an upper hand. You know, they're quite close to the edge of the zone. They actually have their scopes trained on several players up ahead. And, well, Black Clover moving in with pretty good numbers this late in the game, still sitting on the full squad.
Ooh.
So we get a full squad going up against a duo, going up against a trio. You know, so
the problem with that, look at the full squad's health bars, very low.
So that's like 2 players basically. Well, there goes a knock.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's proving quite challenging to find a good spot here, Mr. Dope. Ooh, finding the hit in on Onyx. You know, just fishing in the long grass. The hit's coming in. Azar tries to move in. Down he goes. Dope finding that another one. I know it's not Dope. It says Hope, but I'm calling it Dope because that was Dope. Let's see, will the players here from Not Gaming be able to clutch this one out against the Black Clovers? It's going to be a really, really tough call. Oh, the blue zone finishes the match. What? Well, Not Gaming getting chicken by default. I mean, that's really not bad. 9 kills to their name as well as that default chicken. So well done, well played. The team here from Black Clover getting 14 kills in 2nd place. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is definitely great. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you have low HP and you dare to touch the blue zone. That's sort of how that goes. But I mean, yeah, that was a nice way to end things off. Anyway, I mean, Black Clover doing so much work in terms of kill points and getting that 2nd place. Really not going to be that big of a blow going into this one. They really picked up the pace when it came to the kills, and I mean, even the Not Gaming squad did as well. So a really nice performance coming out of them, and yeah, despite the fact that that final zone sort of just instantly destroyed everyone with a single touch, that's how it goes. And yeah, an entertaining game nonetheless.
Yeah, some beautiful kill counts though, you know, throughout the board there. The players from Phoenix, you know, finding themselves with 10 kills as well in that 3rd place. We got the players there from Your Killer Is managing to get themselves 2 kills. We got the team from Sting Gaming finishing off on 3 kills. We have the players from from G69 finishing off with what seems to be, yeah, it's tricky, but let's go for it. It seems 4. We've got the players from, these tags are messing me up. Ultra 6, there we go. Ultra 6 coming in there as well with 5 kills to their name. So pretty good performance as well. Let's see any other teams with kills. We got the AAA team finishing in 11th place this round, sadly, with 4 kills. Then, of course, we had another team there, the Punishers. They got 2 kills. Anything else that we saw? Alpha Pack also on 2. Godzilla on 1. Sorry, Martians on 1. Yeah, so I mean, the kills are actually quite spread out across the board, and the team from Dream Team, as you can see there in 20th place, also getting themselves those 2 kills. So yeah, quite a bit of a spread there with the kills, which is good to see, you know. But again, the teams placing in those in the top 5 positions, top 5, really putting up a pretty good performance. And yeah, once again, well done to the Black Glovers for getting themselves that 14 kills in second place, and you know, yeah. Not gaming, getting that default chicken. I mean, it couldn't get any better than that.
Yeah, a nice way to close out the second game. Some interesting things happening, and we've been getting some really good zones as well. I mean, difficult, but I think that's setting a good standard at least going forward, because that really puts the teams on the spot, forces them to perform, and it's really just going to make them better as they move forward. So that's really cool to see. I'm glad we got to see that coming out from the teams, and some really good performances there. Now, of course, we do have one more game coming up to finalize the finals for today. But before we get there, of course, we do have to go to a short little break to make sure the teams get up into there, and then we will come back shortly, so don't go anywhere.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. All right, so we are getting into our last match of the day. Man, it has been pretty spicy. We've had 2 southern zones in one day. Patchy, can you even make sense of that? It's not something that we see on a regular basis. These teams have had it so tough already, and well, we've got one more match to go, and I'm hoping for their sake that the zone's a little bit easier on them, not as harsh as we've seen in these previous rounds, but
Absolutely
obviously
not.
for our sake, I'm still hoping for
I
a pretty
want
brutal
strong
zone.
zones. Yeah, yeah. No mercy. Show them no
Yes.
mercy. We're gonna throw them straight into the frying pan. No holds barred at this stage. It's actually been really good to see, because I think that under pressure these teams have performed, or at least they're pushed to perform, and that's I think what we like to see. We giving them the easy one. Those can come later. They'll definitely come later. We want the difficult ones right now. We want to really sift some teams out, see who steps up, see who gets up to the plate, and it's really good to see that right off the bat the teams just have to perform, and they've been doing pretty well so far. It's been really crazy.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's been absolutely insane. And, we've seen some pretty good plays coming in from the players, and one thing that I'm looking forward to is to seeing how their gameplay is going to evolve as we progress through the season, because this already, as you've said before, it's a pretty good starting ground. The basis of what we have gameplay wise at the current moment, it's pretty good. I'm not comparing it to anything that we've seen, but just based on what it is at the current moment, it's pretty good. And knowing what we know, that it is going to evolve, it is going to change, and it is going to improve. Yeah, this is going to turn out to be a super interesting season. And yeah, I'm seriously hoping that we see more teams joining in. We had 97 for today. I'm hoping next week that we've got, numbers pretty close to that, if not higher. It makes it pretty tough on the admin team, because they need to get all of that done and sorted. But either way, it's just absolutely fantastic for the scene.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, this is just this is a good way to start out the season for sure. We want to sort of create this pressure chamber of teams, and we really want to sift out, because I mean that's the whole point of the season, right? We're slowly building up to the point where we're sifting out the final teams that will make it to the top, that will get the prizes, and then of course the ones that will move up into the promotion relegation matches to try and get a shot from Umzansi. That's the end goal, and we don't want to start things off slow. Things will slow down eventually, as things do, but we don't want to start it off slow. We want to get these teams right into the cooker and see who comes out on top, because we hope that more teams get in, they sign up, they come play, and the teams that perform will stick it out. They'll move forward. They'll keep pushing. We'll get new teams in. They'll raise the bar. Things will get better, and those teams that constantly come in will challenge the way things are and continue to just push that bar higher and higher and higher, get the performance up, and to the point where we've just got the teams performing their best that they've been up until that point. And yeah, that's what we're waiting for. We just want these teams to get better and better and better. And well, we're going to start things off with our final match here for tonight. It's been quite a wild ride, and these zones have been giving us quite an entertaining display. But now here on the final map, as the flight path goes all the way up towards the north, we're going to wait and see where that zone does drop. Maybe it goes south again, which, I mean, at this point it seems highly unlikely, but that would be very interesting.
Yeah, it's nice to see a bit of a change up, towards with regards to the southern flight path that we had in the previous round. These teams definitely forced to hit the ground running, and we're seeing quite a bit of clumping happening once again right there over in that Georgia Pool area. So many teams dropping out in that in that region, and it kind of then leads the teams to start battling it out quite early on. The remainder of the teams, of course, now also making their way down, heading off bit by bit. And, well, we're seeing teams starting to get into a bit of a groove. We have the zone coming in as well now, moving in towards that northwesterly corner. And the teams are getting into that groove of, where they like to drop in comparison, or with regards to where the competition is dropping. And they're getting used to, these spots. And how to take those engagements. And for this round, we see the players here from Ultra 6 actually taking the engagements with the team here from that G69. So I think it was the other way around in the previous match.
Yeah, it might have just been, but I'll tell you what, we've already seen a team get hit straight back to the lobby, and I believe that was down towards Primorsk, so we've already had a quick wipe happening. You can see that just super quick and very early on, which is nice. The challenges are coming through from the teams, which is really, really good to see. And interestingly enough, we see a very interesting split all the way towards the west. We've got a whole cluster of teams, and all the way towards the east, we've got a whole cluster of teams. And that is very, very interesting to see. That midsection of the zone just almost completely unpopulated for the time being.
Yeah. It's not often that we see that, but we find the team there from AAA. They've landed right in that smack dab center part of the zone. So maybe we'll see the teams on those two outlying areas, you know, just battling it out with each other, and AAA just sitting there, you know, quite cozy in the zone, not being too threatened at all. You know, it's just having fun in Watertown, you know, not really moving up too much, but, you know, that might change at any moment. But, of course, we have the players here from Force 4 and the team there from Not Gaming right here in this North George section. And, of course, right off behind them over towards that eastern side, almost southeast, we have the players there from Your Killer Is. Looking over towards the South George side, we've got the team there from FXA. We got the team there from Team Rage. And then, of course, also we've got the SAR Anonymous team. So 3 teams on both sides of Georgia Pool. And then, of course, over to the western side, we've got pretty much the rest of the lobby. So, yeah, it's quite an interesting development that we've got with the teams, and FXA and the players here from Team Rage moving up towards each other. The shots flying in, hit by hit, coming in. We've got Chris off in the distance. Let's see, will he be able to come in with a nice shot? Will he find the angle? We don't know. We'll find out soon enough. But, yeah, several hits still going off all over the place.
Yeah, well, here it is. Chris trying to put those shots in. The long range proving to be quite the difficult master to conquer, but there it is. At least a couple of shots going across. King going to be the one to put those in. So it's nice to see. I mean, once again, this is something that you pointed out earlier on, but it's something that I think the fact that it still rings true is very encouraging. These teams are not afraid to take those early fights whatsoever. They are quite happy to put their guns straight across and just shoot in the direction of their opponents, no matter how far away they are. They spot them out, they put the hits in, and, well, I mean, every hit counts, as we know. If you do some early damage, you can really open up some opportunities for yourself, or at the very least, you waste some of their meds, which means that you're playing, you know, for the longer game, and then maybe just whittle them away until you can just take them out. And right now, that moving up very quickly with the crew up with the car. They don't decide to run the team over, unfortunately, so we don't get any of that. But they are moving up very quickly, putting those hits in, and this is the impression I love to see. I mean, that is just so quick and decisive. They see the enemies, they pull on up, they hop out, and they get those hits in.
Yeah, no, Team Rage really staying true to their name, just, you know, enraging the opponents there. So a pretty good play. And let's see if the remainder of the FXA team will be able to maybe get a few hits in, or are they going to choose to maybe hopefully rotate out into a better position, because it is proving to be quite challenging for them here at the current moment. So let's see, will they be able to do anything? Mr. Ash just moving in. Oh, 0 now. Just trying to get those hits in. Tries a drop shot. Or maybe just stripped on something, but he gets sent straight into the lobby by Mr. Awesome there. So the Punishers now also once again staying true to their name. Punishing the opponents, not banishing them. Well, they probably could, but well, yeah.
Yeah, well, they certainly could. And, well, that is what it is. We'll leave it there. I think we'll not pursue that any further. For the moment, though, we're just going to take a look at that zone, which is shifted slightly to the west. So that's going to be an interesting one right now. You can see Ash, OP, moving on up, trying to put the hits into Slatin King, who were just up on that hill taking some fights, and now they're getting pushed themselves. And, well, this is the back and forth aggression that is customary of this particular style of game. We'll see if they can hold up to the aggression at the moment. Ash hopping in the buggy, maybe gonna try and run them over, which is what I'm hoping to see. No, unfortunately not. But, well, this is gonna run off with the car in any case, and, well, there it is. I want to already get run over.
That was a nice replay there. Ash just dashing off into the distance there, just escaping an onslaught here from, well, the players from Team Rage. But it seems like they might be starting to circling back there, you know? Well, Ash had to circle back to get Zeus all back up and all bolty. So let's see what's going to happen. Will they be able to find the shots on the players from Team Rage? Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And a lot of movement now as the teams are moving further in towards the zone. Quite a lot of teams still sitting on that eastern side, on the outskirts of the zone. And of course, we also see still a big concentration of teams right over here on the western edge. Everyone is at least sitting quite comfortable in zone. No urgent need to rotate. But let's see, are they going to try and move up and get those engagements going? Well, yeah, it's definitely getting pretty close to that time, though.
Yeah, it is, and there it comes, Slat, putting them in again, and this is just very nice coming out from Slat and King and the rest of them. They've just been doing some really good work. The aggression's coming through, and they haven't gone down just yet, and now they're just re-aggressing once again, taking the fights. Ash, who we saw hopping into the buggy earlier, trying to reposition and get away, getting hunted down, and once again, the rest of the team also getting hunted down. So the aggression being consistent is really good to see. That makes me quite hopeful. Darko is going to be putting a nice grind towards AK, and he's actually going to get taken down. Mullen's going to slam dunk him and Patriot really well. That's a bit of a Kobe coming out there. Rest in peace. And now we're going to see some more fights hopefully happening here. Killer Bean and the STG clan just across the way. Potentially could be fighting, especially with this blue zone pushing up.
Yeah. You know, that was a bit of a brutal one with those nades, but well, let's see. Maybe we'll see. We've seen some good plays coming in from Killer Bean before, so let's see, will they be able to continue that as the Dream Team is now starting their push right here on the players from Sting Gaming. So we got Bart, Cams, Mufasa, and Inferno going up against Lucid, Killer Bean, Killer Scene, Rash, and of course, well, Derek. Here's Derek. Thanks to Derek. Let's see what's gonna happen. Will they find the hits? Do it. No rash decisions. Take your time. You can do it.
I
there
mean,
you go. Yes.
They have to make a decision sometime.
Yeah, but no rash decisions.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, they've got to make it happen. They're in the blue zone. The pressure is sort of on. They've got to make it happen at some point. They can't wait. And there it comes. Lucid goes down as Mufasa pushes on up. Derek also putting some shots in. They're trying to really contest around the side of this building. They don't really have much of a choice. They have to force through, otherwise this blue zone is going to prove too much. And the other thing that's proving too much is the shots coming through. Cams and Bart going to hit the floor, and out they go.
Yeah, Inferno running straight into the Inferno, which is the Dream Team. Just lying in wait there on the outside of that building. Beautiful play by them coming in. Really good performance. And well, now we move over to, as Patchy said before, this nice pink dance that we got going on over here. You can see the health of the Dream Team. They're going down a bit by bit. I don't know why you would call this a dance. Nothing's moving aside from the smoke.
Well, I mean,
there,
in the previous one it was, you know, because it was sitting on the coast and the water was pushing it up and down. Now it's just the static stand of the pink box that we've got going here.
Yes. And it's almost we're still a little bit away from Boxing Day, so yeah. Well, let's see how it goes. I mean, we're jumping right back over towards the players from Your Killer Is. So let's see. They're keeping a watchful eye on the opposite end. That is, of course, where we find some of the players from Not Gamers. You can see them now just rendering in. Let's see. Will Fantasy be able to put the shots in with this M4? It's quite some distance. We know the recoil over this distance is quite challenging to control, especially, you know, if you're trying to get those hits in. But there's the M24. Well, that doesn't struggle with distance whatsoever. Not a lot of recoil. So in the right hands, that is pretty potent. So let's see where the teams choose to go. Well, it seems like the Martians are trying to invade Rozhok or school. One of those places. But there we go. They are on the move, and we'll find out soon enough where it is that they choose to land and call home.
Yeah, we will see. Indeed, as the teams are converging, you can see on the map there, all the teams are moving on up very nicely centralized towards the zone, which is good to see. A couple of teams sitting along the outskirts as well. We've got a Katsuki up in Yaznaya, and then a couple of teams surrounding them here up just towards the north of that. Down in Pachinki, we've got Ultra 6, and then off towards the west, a couple of teams just sitting in. Now on your screen, you can see red. just keeping an eye out, trying to see if any teams are going to be pushing him anytime soon. There's one just ahead of him. Well, maybe they'll fight. Hopefully they will. That's what we want to see. We've got 15 teams and 54 players remaining here. Zones slowly closing up. We're about to head into the second and, the third and the fourth zone moving up. So we are slowly approaching that mid-game, and I'm expecting to see quite a number of teams get booted out from this point on.
Yeah, the team right up ahead of him there being the team Rain from Hell. Sounds pretty hot if you ask me. So let's see, will Mr. Red there be able to survive it? It's quite the interesting combination, Agent Red and Rain from Hell. So let's see how this goes. The remainder of the teams, of course, now slowly but surely making their moves around. We still got a few teams on the outlying areas. And the only spot where we've got players really close together is right here with Mr. Argus and company. And we see a few vehicles moving off at in the background there. That, of course, being the dream team way off in the yonder distance. The remainder of the lobby coming in from that western side. We see AAA really close to the SAR anonymous team. And, of course, your killer is rotating around over towards that southern side. As you can see there on the map, players moving in bit by bit. We've got Ultra 6 on the far south side going all the way around Pachinki. And then, of course, Force 4 sitting over there on the western side. Not Gaming moving in bit by bit. We got the Black Clovers just up ahead of them. Who will be the teams to start battling it out next? Maybe it could be the players here from the Black Clovers and Not Gaming.
Yeah, it seems like that. Not Gaming slowly encroaching on the Black Clovers territory as they're making their way into the zone. Hopefully they will start to put the shots across. They definitely are aware of the positioning. You can see they are looking in that direction. They know there's something around there. Now we get to see if they do clash, because now they're moving into the zone from the same side, and there's a whole lot of teams up in this position. So Black Clover moving on up, and Not Gaming squad just hot on their heels. If they end up in a similar position, we could see those shots going across. We've actually got the F4 squad all the way back in the distance towards the west, still sitting in that blue zone a little bit, making their way on up. They're the only team, it looks like, that hasn't actually gotten into the zone yet.
Yeah. Well, one fight that I'm looking forward to is the one between Dagger and Jagger. That's the fight that I'm looking forward to. That'd be quite interesting. But in the meantime, we got Mr. King over here just trying to send a few nades over, waiting for the players from Black Clover to come over the crest. As you can see, Not Gaming just off in the distance. So that potential fight between Jagger and Dagger, it's not too far away. Zeus, of course, taking a quick hit there, and well, the Black Clover team are now stepping up with that M24 that we saw on the ground not too long ago, putting those hits in. Oh, Dagger's hit though. I mean, come on, please raise him up. We want to see Dagger and Jagger battle it out. Dope is still there. Will they get another few dope shots? Or maybe not if King stands in this position. Oh, down goes Dope. That wasn't Dope. That was Hope. Sorry.
Oh boy.
Well, I had to.
Yeah.
I couldn't resist.
There seems to be
Beautiful
no hope
play,
remaining for them, though. Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, no hope whatsoever.
Yeah.
We are hopeless. Well, the team from Black Clover is hopeless now.
Yeah, well, with that out the way, we're going to move on to Not Gaming squad and trying to put them in TRS just across the way. Sorry, trying to put the hits across. It's a pretty long range, though, so no surprise that the hits aren't exactly finding their mark just yet, but hopefully they will be soon. Of course, the zone slowly moving its way on up. It is getting smaller, and you can notice that there's still 53 players and 15 teams alive, which means that these guys are going to have to fight for that real estate, as we like to see. So hopefully it comes through. Hopefully it comes out. I want to see those shots raining in immediately. Right now, Zeus is moving down the mountain. AAA putting the hits in towards Killer Bean. I want to see if AAA can maybe put in some performances here in the final match. We'll see. They did so well in the first one. We'll see if they can maybe try and close things out with a banger as well. We'll see. For the moment, everyone's trying to make their way on in, and there's a whole lot of teams moving in from the east. We'll see some shots, and here they come.
Oh, there we go. Chris making swift work there of the high ping. Just trying to sort it out in the process. Pretty good job so far. As you can see, Not Gaming now moving in bit by bit. The players there from AAA just charging all the way around over to the northern side, taking a very wide rotation. They might just come in behind the players here from Not Gaming and Force 4 that you can see on the screen currently battling it out. You can see Mr. Sorry and Jagger going down. We got Zolad and Zeus. So let's see, will they be able to get it? They just need to play with the C in their name in this team. Then we have the ZCC moving about. Let's see what will happen here. A lot of movements. Oh man, this zone is heating up though on this northeastern side. So many teams moving in. Even the eastern side on the outskirts of the zone. I mean, here we go. Force 4 moving in on Not Gaming. Ooh, what a play that was though. I mean, Kronos coming in. Yeah,
they just got dismantled there.
Yeah, no, that was a beautiful play though. Kronos, you know, he's someone to watch. Let's see what he does.
Oh, well, we'll keep an eye on him. They're sitting right at the top of the zone for the moment, and AAA is actually next to them, so maybe we'll see Force 4 and AAA battle it out now. Of course, in the kill feed, you can see Your Killer is taking a couple of shots. Akatsuki going to be challenging them as well up there towards the east as they move on in, and you're going to see right in that kill feed the shots coming through. AAA putting the hits across. We'll see if they can hard commit to that one.
Well, I wasn't off with my call on their rotation because they actually moved in exactly where I was hoping they would go. But you can see the team here from Force 4, they're moving in, you know, pretty good pace there, you know, just moving in, putting those hits in, blowing up the vehicles. Wow, that is pretty cool. Team Rage just sitting right behind them, so they could also just sneak up a little bit of a third party, but Azriel comes just rushing straight into them. Oh, there we go. No, down he goes. Mukas. Wow, that was a good play. That was a good play. I couldn't think of anything there, but well done. That was a good play.
Yeah, well, you see the cars explode, and then of course it has to be automatically a good play. There's no way around it. DK will call it a good play. There is a 100% guarantee of that. Now Mukas has healed himself up just a little bit, but he's got a lot of work to do because Kronos is right here and the rest of the squad is there to back him up as well, and he's moving out very aggressively. Could be caught out, and here come the shots, and indeed he will be caught out. He goes down from some decisive shots from Kronos, who has been doing some serious work here for the team. And now AAA, well, they need to recover a little bit.
And we just saw the whole team there from Your Killer is getting taken out by that play zone, so that is a really unfortunate position to find yourself in, but well, the team there from Force 4 Kronos moving up once again, just taking out AAA, now turning his attention over to the players, of course, from Team Rage, just off in the distance. We have 11 teams and 32 players remaining, and everyone now just starting to clump up on that eastern side. As you can see right here, the minimap up in the corner shows just how crazy it is in this region. We got the players here from SAR, we got the team there from the Black Clovers. Wow, this is going to get so packed. Rain from Hell, of course, just up ahead of them. We have the players from Ultra 6 off in the distance. So there's a lot of potential here for some crazy, crazy fights to break out. Let's see if we'll be able to witness any of those.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see right now. Of course, you can see those shots coming straight on through Zen. Going to be putting them in, and well, all across the board actually we're going to see those shots absolutely flying. Akatsuki putting some in, Black Clover putting some in, TR, everyone just putting some hits in, and that's no surprise because of course we are getting that zone coming smaller and smaller. Dagger even getting some decisive shots off here underneath the bridge, and well, that zone is about 400 meters across. We have 11 teams and 29 players remaining. We've got Black Clover, SAR, Anonymous, and of course, Rain from Hell sitting here in across the compound. And we're definitely going to see some shots being exchanged. And F4 also going to be doing some work here. Those numbers slowly being whittled away, down and down they go. 10 teams remaining. The shots just lighting up in the kill feed here. Black Clover looking worse for wear, sandwiched in between these two teams. Not the greatest spot to be in. Up ahead of towards the north, still plenty of teams taking the fight. I mean, this is getting tighter and tighter, and these teams will be knocked out one by one.
I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen between the players here from SIR Anonymous. As they now moving in over towards the team there, being Rain right up ahead of them. The hits flying in. Ooh, Big Smoke getting hit in the process. As you can see, they also have yet another player right there with them being Black Clover, just a little bit over towards that southeastern side. But up comes the team here. Rain moving in. that's so close. Mr. Raji now coming up from behind. Come, Raji, run. Would he be able to get those hits in? Rain Gaming still looking... Rain Gaming. Rain up ahead looking pretty good, though. 3 players still there in play. You got Snacks, of course, getting knocked out in the process. Zeno moving up bit by bit. Oh, those hits. Wow, there we go. All right, so Rain claiming those players. And, of course, well, quite a battle still happening over towards the western side where we've got the players from Force 4, the team from Ultra 6. And, well, they managed... Well, they were rather battling it out still with one of the teams there. That being the last hopeful from the Mars team. There we go. Capcan going down. So with that, we are down to 5 teams. 2 teams already in zone. The other 3 still yet to come into zone. Blue zone also not too far out, closing in about 5 seconds time. So let's see who will be able to make it up into a zone in time, or will we see any casualties as this blue zone, of course, starts closing in.
Yeah, and take a look at Zen. He's been doing such a good work in this match, just single-handedly doing so much damage in towards all of the surrounding teams and being quite a critical point of that fight, actually. And even on top of all that, doing all that damage, he's managed to escape as well. We'll see how long he can hold out, but he is making his way towards the zone. He has a couple of players to contend with, and here, Rain, Argus, going to be the one to try and castigate some of the teams moving past. Mullen's going to be taking a lot of damage, but it's Argus who goes down, and now Skygo has to come and try and rescue him from the darkness. But does he notice the team moving in from behind? He didn't spot him out, and that's going to cost him as well. He hits the floor. Now, his numbers going down once again. Zen is actually going to get claimed in the meantime as well. Patriot trying to put the hits in. He's going to find Skygo. Argus now on the ground. He will be found as well. And it's just Pyrus who is the last one left for Rain from her. And now we have our 4 teams, F4, Ultra 6, Akatsuki, and of course Pyrus there for Rain from Hell. And we'll see how long he could stay alive. He's juicing himself up for the fight that is sure to come. The zone about 100 or so meters across, which of course means that they don't have much more space to play with at this stage. It's just the fights that have to happen, and Pyrus is standing right on top of the team there from Ultra 6. We'll see who can get those hits in.
Oh, there we go. So Akatsuki now just moving in a bit by bit. Let's see. The team also here from Ultra 6 just holding off on the side. They're trying to see if they can find that last little bit of an angle. Oh, there we go. Cloud putting that shot into Force 4. So Force 4, of course, just off in the distance there. Akatsuki team actually looking pretty good this round. Moving in with 3 players all the way up in towards this final zone. So let's see, will they be able to hold on to that position? The players here from Ultra 6, of course, sitting on 7 kills. And the kill count's actually looking pretty good. I mean, the team there from Rain sitting on 3. Akatsuki sitting on 9 kills. Ultra 6 sitting on the 7 kills you can see on screen. And then, of course, that you just saw on screen. And the team there from Force 4, they're currently sitting on 11 kills. So pretty good kill counts across the board. But there we go. Pyros now being forced out of his hiding spot. Gets taken down by Patriot. The players from Ultra 6 just ripping away. And, of course, Force 4 now out in the open, trying to put down as many smokes as they can to provide as much cover humanly possible. Oh, but the heads are still just going in. Kronos now being the last hope for left. And the team from Akatsuki, of course, just on the outskirts of the zone here, trying to move in, trying to find those angles. Kronos, of course, being the one that's standing in their way of that second or potential chicken position. Let's see, will it be 11 kills? Yes, it is. Cloud finds the shot. And now they're going up against the players from Ultra 6. So it is a 3v3 for this chicken dinner battle.
Oh yeah, the chicken dinner battle. Here it comes. Ultra 6 versus Akatsuki. You've got Zetsu, Lynx, and Clouds for the Akatsuki side, and Patriot, Darkhost, and Mullins left for Ultra 6. And of course now the zone is so minuscule that it really doesn't even come into question that these teams will be forced to take the fight. But all of them hitting the deck to try and just crouch themselves down, reduce the amount of visibility that could potentially come their way. But right now, Ultra Gaming, they have some really good Ultra 6. They have some really good cover here. They can work with this really, really well. It's just smokes for Akatsuki, and that might be their downfall. Patriot trying to spam through the smoke is finding a couple of hits here and there. Not going to find Zetsu just yet, but the damage has already been done to the remaining the 2 players from Akatsuki. So they are slowly being whittled away and whittled down, and their HP will not last. How many meds do they have in their pocket will be the question of the day, and who does the zone favor when it shifts up again will also maybe be a huge determining factor of who is able to take this chicken here.
Yeah, And I mean, the players there from Ultra 6 really in a good position so far. If they can capitalize on this, it is a chicken in the bag. And there we go. Hit going straight over towards the links. 2 players left from Akatsuki. We've got Zetsu and Cloud. The zone, of course, about to close in. We'll see where this final zone is going to take us. And I don't think there's a lot of time left for Akatsuki, but they can still clutch it out, all depending on how they play this next coming phase. It is down to the wire for the teams here. Let's see. Will Zetsu? No, he won't. Down he goes. Everything now riding on Cloud. Ooh, will he be able to hold out on this one? Will he be able to hide away long enough? He's caught in a very interesting position here. A little bit of an incline there for him to hide behind. But Dark Ghost is now moving up. Seems quite excited. You can see him bobbing up and down. Patriot and Mullins also right there to provide the cover. The team now starting to spread out on the hunt for Cloud. Let's see. Will they be able to get him? Ooh, Mullins, sorry. I couldn't read there for a second. Holding up in the building. Cloud still just inching forward bit by bit. Ultra 6 in a really good position. Let's see. Will they be able to find the heads? Oh, yes. Down they go. Well played, Ultra 6, taking out the team there from Akatsuki. Beautifully done. Coming in with a beautiful 12 kills. Akatsuki finishing off on 11 kills. So it seems like it is a battle for top kills between these top 3 teams. They Force 4 also coming in with a very, very comfortable 11 kills. So, yeah, pretty crazy kill count. All top 3 teams there finishing off with double digits. And then as we go down the list, you can see, the kills have pretty much gone over to those teams, aside from the team there from, being Team Rage. They managed to accumulate 7 kills in their round. Pretty well played, though.
Yeah, certainly is. But one thing that's to note is the fact that we haven't seen one particular team dominating the entire lobby. And that means, of course, that you'll probably want to see these teams build on their consistency as the season progresses, which, of course, is something that we expected. That's not surprising at all. But the fact of the matter is these teams all have the potential to take those chickens. And, that's proven here today in the first day of this best of 3. Very, very nice to see that come out. I think it's going to be an interesting season for sure. And I really want to see which team is going to start bringing that consistency to the table. Because if that doesn't happen, we're going to see these teams getting, chicken dinners all across the board. And the points are going to be really, really spread out. And that's going to lead to some interesting things going in towards the end of the season.
Yeah, and I mean, the team's really, really putting up a fantastic performance, and what a great way to get this started, And as you said, we're really looking forward to seeing what is going to be happening across the season as we progress on through it. I'm really hoping that we see a lot of consistency coming in from the teams, with regards to registrations, and then, of course, on performance as well, because so far it's been absolutely amazing way to get this, to kick off the Inkosi Super Cup summer season. And yeah, really looking forward to the coming weeks, and really looking forward to seeing how the teams will then, of course, be progressing and involving their gameplay, and just spicing things up as they move along.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely very, very interesting to see. I'm looking forward to that as well. The teams have lots of chances here to up their game, improve things, and it's a good way to start things out. I mean, the fighting is definitely there, which is something that we actually saw a little bit lacking in the first season. But the fact of the matter is, it's definitely not lacking here, and that's good to see. And that means that there's a couple of other areas, obviously, that these teams will be looking at. But with that said and done, that this is a great way to start things off. And not much else to say about that. I haven't seen one particular team really stepping it up in terms of a huge way. We didn't see AAA make it in towards the top, which is unfortunate, because I was hoping that maybe one team would shine just a little bit more than others, so that I could really just, glue my eyes to them and see what they have to offer. But it seems like everyone in the lobby had something to bring to the table. And it's going to make for an interesting season, at least.
Yeah, no, 100% agree with you on that. And I think on that note, let's end it off here for tonight. Fantastic evening. And, before we go too far with it, we're going to end it off. Have a fantastic evening. Thank you so much for everyone for watching. Be sure to follow Nodwin Gaming on all the social medias. The registrations will go up there shortly, I believe, hopefully. But yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys back on the next one. We'll be back next week, same time, same place.